we're away now. Everything ready to go? Yeah, welcome to the Drogheda Arts Centre. We're here this evening to celebrate 10 years of the Drogheda Motor Show. Are you all excited?
I'm very excited.
We'll get to that a little bit later on. Oh, well, indeed, you could. Worth money, that's for sure. I was talking to a man on my radio show yesterday, had an Opel. welcome to the Droichead Arts Centre and a Drogheda Motor Show like no other. Yes, we're celebrating our 10th anniversary. There's not a car in sight, but I can tell you for the next couple of hours, we are going to have a wonderful time. Yes, 10 years on, happy birthday, Drogheda Motor Show. And it's brought to you this evening by the Motor Dealers of Drogheda, First Citizen Finance, Drogheda District Chamber, the Society of the Motor Industry of Ireland, and Louth County Council, and you're all very welcome to the show. Let me tell you what's happening over the next couple of hours. Throughout the evening, we'll hear from the 11 Drogheda motor dealers, and they'll be giving us great tips on motoring and, of course, selling their wares. Get into them next week, folks. There's great deals to be had. We've also got guests from the world of music, sport, food, writing, nature, community. We'll hear what it's like to learn to drive. Yes, somebody just learning to drive at the moment. And a very special couple joining us this evening. They've come through COVID-19. Wait till you hear their story, and it's their wedding anniversary today. And we'll also throw in a little bit of magic from the man himself, Keith Barry. And I'll tell you that tonight as well, we are supporting two wonderful charities. We're supporting Down Syndrome Ireland Louth Meath branch and Malta Services. And I'm going to tell you a little more about that later on. But my first guest this evening, he's waiting patiently for me on the sofa, and he's wearing, well, I don't see him with a hat on, but he's wearing three hats actually tonight. Yes, he's the Motor Show Director, he's President of Drogheda Chamber and Marketing Manager of one of our main sponsors, First Citizen Finance. Robert Murray, great to have you with us this evening.
Delighted to be here, Jerry. It's amazing. It's a very exciting night for us. So I'm really excited for what's going to happen, and I think our viewers are going to be really excited, and they'll be entertained for the whole evening.
Oh, we have some show lined up. But listen, take us back 10 years. We were in the grips of recession, and you were part of a team that put together the first show.
Yeah, exactly. So I suppose not like unlike now at the moment. 10 years ago, we were in the depths of a recession. So I approached the chamber, the local chamber, and that kind of brings us right up to 2020 now. But in 2010, we were in a pretty poor place, and I suppose I approached the chamber and I said, look, we've got the local motor industry. It's a difficult place to be. I suppose there were 57,000 cars sold in 2009, and we needed an improvement. So I went to the chamber and said, look, can we get the dealers some help? What can we do? Can we get together? Can we come up with some ideas? So they really supported us, and we got the dealers together early in 2010, and by November 2010 we were in the retail park with the first motor show. And that weekend, I know it's been supported by LMFM all the way through as well. I know, you've been a fantastic support yourself. But in November 2010 we had 89 cars sold over that one weekend. So it's an impressive period of time.
Yeah, and ever since you've come in different guises with the show, most recently out on the street in Lawrence Street in Drogheda, but with social distancing, well, that just can't happen this year. Sure. People will wonder tonight, watching in, why do this show? It would have been easier to kick it into next year.
Yeah, well, look, it's the people. The people are so good. The Drogheda as a town, we've the collaboration across different businesses, the suppliers, the dealers, are just absolutely fantastic. The dealers, there's 11 motor dealers taking part this year in the event. We're celebrating 10 years. It's been a tough, it's been a tough year. So we could have just let it pass, and we said no. It's an important year. So we said we'll go and do it. And obviously now we're doing a chat show. It's a bit different.
Yeah, it is a little bit different for sure. But I want to tell viewers this evening that the motor dealers are open for business. Yes, they want you to call into them. But there's one very important thing, Robert, and we know this, that when you go in, viewers this evening want to know that it's safe, considering what we're going through at the moment with COVID-19. So the motor dealers are putting in place lots of safety. Let's have a look at what they're doing. Yes, as you can see there, the dealers very, very conscious of your safety when you want to call into them and buy that new car or used car. They're all implementing all of the safety measures. So be assured, when you do give them a shout next week, everything is 100%. Now, at this time, more than ever, volunteering is really, really important. And we're going to have a chat about volunteering now with somebody I know really well. Gráinne Beryl from the Louth Volunteer Centre. Welcome to the show this evening.
Thanks a million, Jerry. Great to be here.
And great to have you with us on this
In person.
lovely sitting room, if we can call it this evening. Look, Gráinne, tell me, from COVID happened back in March. Did you see an upsurge in people looking to volunteer?
Oh, we absolutely did, Jerry. Sure, you know yourself, the community spirit in this area in general is very good. I heard Robert just saying there a few minutes ago, it's about the people. And it is about the people. I mean, with the last couple of years of the FLA here in Drogheda, where hundreds of people put themselves forward to help out of all ages. And certainly we saw the same thing happen in, when March and everything just kind of went, oh my God, what's happening? We would normally be very busy March, April, May anyway in Louth Volunteer Centre. And in that period, we actually saw, this year, a 150% increase in new volunteer registrations. And also many of our regular volunteers coming back saying, I really want to help. But what we also saw, which was fantastic, was what we call informal or organic volunteering. So people just helping out their neighbours, which was a really super thing to see. And it was a real kind of highlighting of the community spirit locally. We also had the community call, which was a national initiative.
Yes.
So it was a free phone helpline. The helpline was manned by county council staff, but the practical supports that were put in place was all delivered by volunteers. And what I'm not personally, it was not all just me, but particularly proud of here in Louth was we had one of the most diverse responses in terms of the volunteer groups on the ground. So we had everything from our local GAA clubs to here in Drogheda, the Boyne Fishermen's and River Rescue, the Scouts, local residents associations, all kind of coming together to support the community call. But interestingly, what we found is because the local community supports were so strong, there wasn't as much as a need actually for volunteers. So it's good to know we were ready if they were needed. And again, the other thing that happened as well is a lot of our community and voluntary sector organisations that provide the day-to-day supports, normally they had to kind of close their doors for a while, so those volunteers weren't being engaged at that time.
Yes.
But yeah, I mean, when coming back to the community call, there were some lovely stories where people who were connected with so volunteers who were connected with people through the community call, so they'd be older people, vulnerable people, people who were stay home, stay safe. As an example, one of our local Scouts troops, St Oliver Scouts, they were matched with a lady who had just come out of the Lourdes Hospital after having cancer treatment. She was an older lady on her own. They did the basic task that was asked from them, and then they noticed how bad her garden was. So they've actually now done, it's like extreme makeover. and loads of our local businesses sponsored them as well. So, it just shows you that community call was for one piece, but there's ongoing supports happening since then.
Great to hear it. Talk to me about Critic Call, because we know, and I know through my work in radio, that calls about domestic abuse have gone up.
Yeah, so Critic Call, it's an initiative that came out of the COVID crisis as well, and Critic Call, it started in Dublin actually, and we brought it in here to Louth. So it's because there's been that surge, unfortunately, in domestic abuse situations as a result of COVID, and our local services, which is Drogheda Women and Children's Refuge and the Women's Aid in Dundalk, are totally stretched. And they're needing more resources, and they don't have any more resources. So Critic Call, there's 3 strands to it. One is letters of hope and courage. So it's letters, volunteers can write letters to people who are accessing the services. Another is the safe haven, which is if a person or people have maybe a second property that they're not using, they might consider offering that to families who are leaving a domestic abuse situation. And the one that we're most active here locally is a donation. So it's a managed donation drive. So the services tell us exactly what they need, and we manage that, and volunteers get exactly what's needed. So we did a drive 2 weeks ago, which was hugely successful, and we got everything that was needed for the services at that time. And we're doing another one now, which is on the 8th of August, which was for back to school. But we've just been contacted today, actually, by the services to say there's 10 families we need to support. So, it's an ongoing process. So if people are interested in getting involved in Critic Call, they can look at volunteerloud.ie, which is our website. It is very tightly managed because of COVID and other issues, and also because we want to make it as easy as possible for the services. But it's a quick and easy way for people to volunteer as well.
Fantastic. Thank you, Gráinne. Volunteerloud.ie. Remember that, folks, if you want to become involved. And while we're talking about a supporting community, tonight's show is celebrating all things good in our local community. And it's brought to you again by the Motor Dealers of Drogheda. please support our two charity partners, and I'll tell you about them now. Down Syndrome Ireland Loudmead branch and Malta Services are the two beneficiaries from tonight's show. And to donate, what you have to do is go to brandnewdrive.ie, click on the donate button, and give as much as you can. €1 means an awful lot to these charities. Do your very best. And listen to this, if you do donate, no matter what you donate, you could win a €250 shop local voucher. Now, isn't that nice? So by donating, you could be in quids yourself. So get donating now, brandnewdrive.ie and the donate button. We really appreciate all of your support. €1 does make a huge difference, as I said. Now let's move along, and we are in the beautiful Droichead Arts Centre tonight. And folks, the lights went out, the curtain fell back in March, but the good news is next week the Droichead Arts Centre is open for business. Isn't it, Colette Farrell?
It is indeed, Jerry. So, yes, this is the first time we've had anything on our stage since the end of March. Performances and events stopped on the 12th of March, and then we went into complete lockdown at the end of March. And I suppose the important thing to remember is that the buildings were closed, but the creativity continued. I mean, one of our key priorities is to support the work and development of local professional artists in the North East region, as well as engaging with our community. So that all happened, albeit remotely, So we worked with everybody from S.J. McArdle, Grania Rafferty, Nicola Pearce, who's our artist in association. And we put a lot of things online. We worked with LMFM on with Grania Rafferty and her story on local radio, and we're about to work as well with the Drogheda Independent. So when we closed, the most important thing for me, I suppose, as well, was when we open, very much about bringing artists back into the building, and that's what we're going to be doing next Tuesday. So we have this wonderful project called Connection, and I think connection is a word that's resonated very much with us, during the pandemic. So I wanted to bring artists together on a 3-strand project. So number one, I have commissioned 11 artists from the Borough Ground Collective, a collective that we've worked with, which is all about highlighting the need for artist studios in Drogheda. And they have all created a piece of art, I suppose, that will go on an A3 poster. Because when we open up, we have nothing effectively and no events to promote. And now we're going to have 11 bespoke posters all over our empty poster frames, in our windows, etc. And then we're going to have 6 artists beginning, I suppose, a live drawing on a daily basis in our gallery. So 1 artist a day, 6 local artists, and by the end of it as well, we're going to have a giant drawing around the gallery wall. Then on Culture Night, we're bringing the gallery outside and intend to use buildings with Drogheda BIDS, the Business Improvement Development Scheme, and Robert, indeed, from the Drogheda Chamber. They've been very supportive as well. And we've invited 10 local, national and international artists to install works in 10 disused buildings in Drogheda. So again, very much about connecting with artists, connecting with the community. And then I suppose the changes here from next week is, if you want to come into our gallery, you're going to need to book a visit online, but you get to book a visit, say, over the next 2 weeks, where artists are actually working live in a space. You can chat to the artists, you can see their work in progress. So lots of exciting events.
Fantastic. And I want to tell you, I have to tell you this, folks. I went for a wee a little while ago, and on the wall of the toilet is a little verse from Shakespeare, As You Like It. And by the time you read it, you'll have washed your hands for 20 seconds. I love it. Good. I think that is really creative. Anyway, Droichead Arts Centre, book online and come in and support the arts. They really do need all of our support now. Colette Farrell, manager of the Droichead, thank you so much indeed for joining us tonight. Now, I mentioned at the top of the show, we're going to hear from the motor dealers, because this is the celebration of 10 years of the Drogheda Motor Show, and we begin with one fine dealer in the Drogheda area. Yes, it's Blackstone Motors, Renault and Dacia, and here they are. They have this little message for you.
Hello, and you're very welcome here to Blackstone Motors. I'm Donald Waters from Blackstone Motors. We're the main Renault dealer and Dacia dealership here in Drogheda. Let me just tell you about the range with Renault and Dacia just quickly. We've the all-new Clio, the new Captur, the Kadjar, the great fun electric car, the Zoe. Also on top of that, we have the Dacia range. We have the Duster, the Sandero and the Stepway. Just go through the digital showroom of what you can experience when you buy from Blackstone Motors. The aim is to make buying a new or used car an enjoyable and easy process. All customers have to do is visit our website and choose the perfect vehicle for them. Customers can look at finance options. You can also apply for finance and get approved. You can actually purchase a vehicle online also, and Blackstone Motors will deliver the vehicle at a time of the customer's convenience, or you can come down to the showroom and pick it up. So why not click on www.blackstonemotors.ie for more information.
Yes, Donal Waters there from Blackstone Motors, and Donal, Noel and all of the crew at Blackstone will look after all your needs. If you're looking for a fine used car or a new Renault Dacia, give them a shout over the coming days. They'll be only too happy to say hello to you. Now, we're staying on the motoring theme now, because when I tell you, joining me now on the show is a man who's regarded as one of the most respected motoring journalists in the country. He's a regular contributor to print media, especially the Meath Chronicle, and I'm proud to say he's my motoring man on Late Lunch on LMFM radio. Tony Conlon, it's great to see you.
Thanks, Jerry. Thanks.
And I really mean that, because I haven't seen him with the restrictions on radio, and here we are, face to face. Tony, I suppose at this time, after the lockdown, there was a real worry that we'd face, or dealers would face, the same crisis they faced back after the Celtic Tiger and the crash that ensued. You feel it's a bit different this time around?
Well, thankfully, the feeling in my blood, Jerry, is that it is different. The reason, I suppose, the big difference is there simply is a few pound out there, and people are buying. The more industry naturally has fallen down a lot, but it has risen, especially in July, and that's a positive way. And then the used cars element has just big demand there, and I know that personally because I'm getting phone calls from people asking me about cars. While it had been quieter earlier on, there's a bit of a buzz back there, and I hope it lasts, Jerry. I really do, because it's grand to see. But no, look, the COVID has been dreadful, but compared to 2008 or thereabouts, where the industry was hit so severely, yes. But they're working so hard, the industry. They've learned so much from past experiences, and because it is a very hard industry, and it's a huge employer, and it's fantastic to see the experience. You see the sales when they're going back out again. They're doing what they've done years ago. They're going back to people's houses, to farmyards. They're selling. Yes. And it's lovely to see that, and they're trying hard.
Now, you're a man who's always said to me that when you're in the market for a car, and let's talk about somebody going in for a new car, for example, and you have a range of options with the model or make you're looking at. Right. You've always been a man to say, spend as much as you can. The day you buy is the day you sell. Well,
naturally, everyone has a budget as such, but to the person that thinks solely for themselves, maybe that look, I'm just giving examples here. I don't need leather in a car. Okay, fair enough. You don't need leather. I don't need electric windows. I don't need climate control. Well, now, look, no, cop on, because what's going to happen is 3 or 4 years' time, you're going to be selling that car, and Joe Bloggs will want all the other things. He will want, and she may want, sat-nav and whatever other USBs that are in there, connectors and everything else. So you need to do your research on that. So definitely, the day you buy is the day you sell. And the other reason that, Jerry, is don't be wound into this bargain. I have an old version. You know, it's unregistered, but it's an old version. Well, that's old. You know what I mean? Try and keep up with the times. Go for the modern car.
Good advice, Tony. Now, the other conundrum facing people purchasing today is this: diesel, petrol, hybrid, fully electric. What's your advice? How does somebody make up their mind? Or do we have to really go to the dealers and rely on their advice and expertise?
Well, the dealer will certainly give you advice, but what the dealer has become is a draper. He's become the McKenna man, the Pat O'Byrne from Trim and McInhenny's from Appy. He's become that guy with the measuring tape over his head that will measure you into a car. And I think that's very important. Now, look, there's no crystal ball there on that table. I can look at it and say what's going to happen. Yes, the signs are. There's not a press release arrives now that doesn't say so-and-so is going hybrid. Like, they're all going hybrid, they're all going electric. But to say everything will happen by 2030, well, I have a little doubt in my mind on that one. But I was just speaking to one of the lads outside, and we're talking about this, and where electric cars are going, this happens in Nissan House, or if you have solar power or whatever, you can plug your electric car back into your house to power that house, to boil the kettle for you, for example. That's the way it's going to go. But Technology. But at the moment, it has cut your cloth to your measure. Electric cars will not suit everybody at the moment, but yes, There's a lot of people out there who will suit. Second car families, for example, the man and wife, they say the average mileage is 60 kilometres a day for most people. Well, that's fine, but if you're driving from Portlaoise to Dublin to work every day, that could be another question. And if you live in a 4-storey apartment, well, you're not going to be able to put a wall box up there. That's going to be another problem. Yeah. So they have to get over the little problems. The infrastructure too has to improve.
You
so
still see a place for petrol and diesel, and I know there's a lot of work on behind the scenes to make them cleaner and more efficient.
There is. Like when you see something like Mercedes investing, like with Renault, for example, millions or billions into into diesel power and technology, and when you see the likes of Peugeot, for example, also that will offer you petrol, diesel and battery power. And that's a lovely idea, because there's a lot of people found at the moment that are driving a particular type of car and will be found out now they're not making diesel anymore or something like that. So the choice isn't there. The choice is there with a lot of manufacturers, but you have to do your research. And the salesman, like, you do your research, the salesman will give you advice to the best of his ability, but you need to do your research yourself too. Yeah.
Last quick question, less than 30 seconds. What was Tony Conlon's first ever car? I've been asked this many times, and now's my chance to put it to you.
A Mini. I bought it for 90 quid. I changed the newspapers on the floor every Sunday morning because the floor was rotten. And there was that many Sunday Independents on the floor and Irish presses at bet all. And the second one was a Riley Elf. So it was fantastic. Yeah.
You are a fantastic man, Tony Conlon. Keep on doing what you're doing.
Thanks
You're
very much,
wonderful.
sir.
Thank you for joining us on the Motor Show this evening.
Thank
really
you.
appreciate it. Yes, the wonderful Tony Conlon there. And make sure you tune in to Late Lunch on LMFM Radio. Tony's with us every month of the year. Now, I think it's time for music, isn't it? We've chatted for a while. Let's have some local entertainment. Well, let me tell you, folks, I've been here for quite a part of the day, and earlier in the day, I met these guys for the first time. Their name is Modern Love. They're an Irish indie rock band, and I'll tell you something, these lads are going places. Have a listen.
Hold back when I see you there looking like that. I don't know how to act, yeah. Just to see you there looking like that. But I got something you gotta know. No, I could never let this feeling go. But I could never let it show. No, I could never let you see, no. Just because I find it hard to tell you. You know that don't mean I do. I never found it hard to make up my mind, but now I find it hard to tell you. And how do you honestly feel about the people that you care for? And just tell me. How can you sit there and honestly tell me that you're there for me? She said, I don't know if I really know. All I can do now is what comes naturally. I'll stop you now if you wanna go. I could never do that to you, baby, I just don't believe. Just because I find it hard to tell you. You know that don't mean it ain't true. I guess I kinda found it hard to make up my mind, but I think I want you. And how do you honestly feel about the people that you care for? And just tell me. How can you sit there and honestly tell me that you're there for me? And just because I find it hard to tell you, you know that don't mean guess I find it hard to tell you. You know they don't mean it ain't true. I guess I kinda found it hard to make up my mind, but I think I want you.
Yes, Modern Love, and hard to tell you what a fantastic band they are. Cian McCluskey, Graham Fagan, Danny Rooney and Barry Lally. Barry, back on stage. How does it feel?
Yeah, it feels great after I think nearly 4 months of not playing any gigs, and then to have a few cancelled. It feels great to finally be back on stage, yeah.
Your star was really on the rise. Bop Made in Chelsea, Electric Picnic twice, Breaking the UK. The world was your oyster and you stopped in your tracks. Are you ready to get going again?
Yeah, definitely. Like we had 2 gigs coming up in the Grand Social and then one in Live at Leeds. So we were really looking forward to make our UK debut, and for that to be stopped, we were really gutted. But they've been pushed back now to Halloween and the night after. So yeah, we'll get stuck back in.
Fireworks on the horizon with Modern Love on Halloween night. Your new single as well, you had to work away on this in lockdown, and
Yeah.
it's come together quite differently.
Yeah, it's a very different song for us, and I think that's maybe because of the way we had to write it and record it. We never met up to write, record, or produce any of it. Like we even wrote our parts individually, recorded everything individually, our different parts in our different bedrooms. So it's a very different sort of song for us, but I think that was,
Back to the Future, playing in your bedrooms, but
Yeah.
a fantastic outcome, I have to say.
Thanks very much.
I wish you well. You are the emerging, rising stars on the Irish indie rock scene, about to break the UK and the world, I'm sure. Watch this space, ladies and gentlemen. Modern Love. Well done, lads.
Thanks very much.
Yes, Modern Love. They're fantastic. First time I heard them today, and there's something else live. Watch this space and do follow them on social media. These lads are going straight to the top, I promise you. Now it's time to hear from our second motor dealer of the evening, and it's Mazda and Fiat with Brian Reynolds.
Hiya folks, Alan Reynolds here, Brian Reynolds Car Sales. Thanks for tuning in to our live stream. Hope you're all enjoying it. We are main dealers for Mazda and Fiat. We have the full range of Mazda, including the Mazda CX-30 and Mazda 3, and we also have the Fiat brand, which has the iconic Fiat 500 and the Fiat 500X. So that's enough about me. Enjoy the rest of the show. But before you go, I want to tell you a little top tip about ABS. ABS stands for anti-lock braking system. It's on all modern cars now. Basically what it does, when you put your foot on the brake, you push it on, you'll feel a vibration. What's happening is your braking system on the car is actually banging the brake for you because it's doing it rapidly. It gives you a chance to steer and avoid whatever is in the way.
Yes, Alan Reynolds there with very important advice about braking and ABS. Such an advancement, wasn't it, in our cars? And do give them a shout there, Brian Reynolds, Mazda and Fiat. They'd be delighted to talk to you during the week. Now, the Drogheda Motor Show, reminding you again this evening, is brought to you by the motor dealers of Drogheda, First Citizen Finance, Drogheda District Chamber, the Society of Irish Motor Industry, and Louth County Council, and we're very grateful to them all for the support this evening. Still to come on the show, we're going to meet them in a moment, the two Nicholas. We're going to have a chat with golfer Des Smith and the Nature Detectives. You'll love this family, I promise you. And remember again, our two charity partners this evening, we want to support them. We want to raise as much money as we can for them. Yes, Down Syndrome Ireland, Louth Mead Branch, and Malta Services. They're the people we're supporting at Drogheda Motor Show 2020. How do you donate? brandnewdrive.ie, click the donate button, and when you donate, you could win a €250 shop local voucher. So make sure you donate now, and you can donate until 9 o'clock tomorrow evening, and we'll hear who's won on Monday morning on the Brand New Drive Facebook page. The Nulas I heard of, yes, I've heard of the Nulas, the Nicholas. Welcome to the show, Nicola Pearce. You're welcome. And of course, another lady I know very well, Nicola Cassidy. Welcome to the Motor Show tonight. I'll start with yourself, Nicola Pearce. I've been following both of you on a regular basis on social media. And Nicola, you said our books are the COVID books. We had the launch. You know, they've been published, but no hoorah really around a big launch.
Yeah, I was meant to have a big launch here actually on the stage. I bought a big poofy dress. So I think we both have it in common. We spent 2 years on these books, 2 years of expectations and excitement. I felt this was my best book ever that I'd ever written, and it meant a huge amount to me. And as we were nearing up to the day of the launch, this would be the first of 4 launches, the news started to get louder and louder, but I still believed it was going ahead until the day that they closed the schools, and I thought, right, that's it.
So do you feel a little bit cheated?
Back then, I've gotten used to it. I mean, I'm hoping the book is selling. We've no, that's what we were talking about outside, I've no idea. But back then, yeah, I felt really kind of nearly grieved for it.
We're going to get it selling for you tonight because I will remind you, Chasing Ghosts, An Arctic Adventure is the name of the book, and it's a wonderful book for children and young adults and even children of all ages. Get it and read it and buy it and support this wonderful woman. Nicola Cassidy, you're in the same boat yourself. And for you, you know, Nicola, the other Nicola, has said she felt it's her best ever. Certainly Adele, rave reviews.
Yeah, and I remember the day the schools closed because it was the Thursday. My launch was on the Saturday, so it was just like right at the last minute. And like that, I'd spent 2 years writing Adele, story Adele Astaire, been over in the States and everything. So yeah, and I think I was the same. I definitely grieved the loss of what you had expected, and because I think if everyone thinks back to the start of lockdown, look, we're used to things being cancelled now, and we're kind of used to events not going ahead. But at the time, it was such a shocker, like that wouldn't go ahead. That you put all, and I had little dancers coming down, little Adele and Fred Astaire's, and you know, there's a local school involved. So yeah, it was hard, but I suppose it's not too bad for us because the product is still there, the book is still out, and just hope that people do get to read it eventually.
Listen, I'm in esteemed company tonight, I have to say, because Nicola Cassidy, you have received a tremendous accolade in County Meath.
I have. I've gone over to the Meath side. Yeah, so that was one of the things that came out of lockdown for me. I sat down and I said, what do I want to do? And I applied for it's like a bursary and a residency for County Meath to be the writer in residence, and I got it. So now it's that all of a sudden from despair to kind of, you know, very high, because I've 6 months planned out of writing work that I don't even know if I would have applied if I hadn't have been at a loose end as such. So there is positives that could come out.
Congratulations. Of it. And the lady sitting beside you, the other Nicola, can crow as well, because she sits here tonight in her domain. She's the artist in association at the Droichead Art Centre.
Yeah, no, it's absolutely, I'm thrilled. It's absolutely brilliant. I mean, I absolutely love this art centre. I always came here to support the film clubs. I would have come here when I was single. I had nothing else to do. You can get your glass of wine outside and come in and enjoy a film. So this was always a safe place for me. It's one of my favourite places in Drogheda, and it's just down next door to the library. So I was absolutely thrilled to be asked to be artist in resident. So we're running this thing. Hopefully people will send in their diary entries. We're looking for people's experiences of lockdown, Drogheda folk, their experiences of lockdown, and we're hoping to put that in a book, maybe 2021, when we can have a big launch and hug and kiss.
Yeah, absolutely. Please God, that's on the way. You're listening, scientists and everybody working on the vaccine. Fingers crossed all around the world for you. Nicola, besides, you know, these 2 great honours that have been bestowed on both of you, what's next beyond Adele? Are you working on something else?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Well, I've a new book to come out, and I'm actually looking at World War II. So that's come right up into the 1940s. So I have an Irish term and feckin link because I couldn't leave term and feckin. So I have a story there, and I've also been working on screenwriting because I had time then to go and study it, which is something I always wanted to do.
Yes.
And yeah, so there's lots of stuff coming down, and yeah, it was, you know, it was really nice to get that little break to actually stop and just go, what do I want to do and how do I do it, and research and write, and like once I got over the bad 2 or 3 weeks after, then it was very positive.
Yes,
so
yes.
Likewise
to yourself, Nicola, the work never stops, the ideas are always in the head.
Well, I mean, because of lockdown, I have a lot of online students, but I am working on a book. But I will say now, lockdown, the first 3 weeks, I went into shock and did nothing. So I've been working hard ever since to make up for that.
That's very good. And I have to say, you're both looking $1 million. Look, folks, get out and get the books. Support them. You can buy them online. I know that the shops have been closed, but we have a reopening again, and you can go in and buy books. Adele by Nicola Cassidy, fantastic. And Chasing Ghosts, an Arctic Adventure by Nicola Pearce. The Nicholas, thank you so much for joining me on the sofa this evening. Aren't they wonderful? They are wonderful, wonderful women. I want to say a big thank you to Fiega Living. Look at the living room here this evening. Isn't it lovely? Well, Fiega Living have provided all you see here tonight, and they are wonderful people to go to for furniture and accessories on the Dunor Road in Drogheda. Check them out there. And also, if you're wondering about you see the artwork behind me here on my right-hand side? Yes, that's Breda Marin's talent there on display tonight. What a beautiful painting it is. Now, we're going to hear about our second charity now, because we're supporting two charities, as I said, here this evening. The Louth Meath Branch Ireland Down Syndrome, and our second, they are one of our charities tonight, and we're going to have a look at a little videotape here about what they do.
Hi everyone, I'm here with the lovely Heather from Down Syndrome Ireland Louth Meath Branch. Heather, you're very welcome. Thank you for joining us today. Can you tell us a little bit about the services that you guys offer in the Louth Meath Branch?
So as home teachers, we go into the child's home and we teach the children on a hands-on basis, and we work on the children's overall development. So for example, we would be doing
is provided for the children from the age of 1 up to the age of 6, and prepares them for school. Aaron thoroughly enjoys the hour that he has with Heather, and you can see his skills coming along with her, and he really does miss her. He's dying for September now to get her back.
You must be reassured when you meet other parents and see the children of all ages that the Louth Meath Branch will be with you going forward as he grows.
Definitely, that's one thing that's very special about the branch. It doesn't just provide for one section, it provides for children way up through life, from birth all the way up to the range of services that the children can avail of, that the families can avail of. We've made lovely friends through the branch. Aaron has made lovely friends through the branch, and the other siblings in the family are supported as well, which is very important.
Are you hopeful that the service will be back? You know, we're here today, they're working hard to get schools open again, all schools in September.
We are, but fortunately enough, the branch has been very supportive through the pandemic. They have provided Zoom calls through Down Syndrome Ireland and the branch. They've also provided COVID information, loads of different support networks for us. So we are looking forward to a new normal for all the children, because they really need it.
Oh yeah, please God,
yeah.
Sooner than later. You're one of our chosen charities
and
tonight.
Thanks very much for that. We really appreciate it.
I know the people behind this motor show are just delighted to support you. How important is fundraising in the context of what the branch does?
Fundraising is huge. The branch is run by parents of children with Down syndrome in the area, and the funding pretty much comes from volunteers, the parents and the local generosity of people. If we didn't have funding, we wouldn't have services. It costs an awful lot to run the branch and provide the services, so we're indebted to everybody that donates, supports and helps out, and we look forward to their continued support. And yeah.
Well, we are going to do our very best for you
Appreciate
tonight.
it.
Yvonne O'Connor, thank you for joining
Thanks very
us
much,
on
Jerry.
the
Thank
show.
you.
Yes, and that brings it home, folks, doesn't it? Brings it home to all of us why it is so important to donate. It really is important for people to donate, and we ask you to get donating now. brandnewdrive.ie, the donate button, press it, give us your money, and you're in the draw then to win a €250 shop local voucher. Every euro is important to the Loudmead branch Ireland of Down syndrome. So come on, I know you'll do it. Get donating. We appreciate it. It's time to move on to hear from another of our dealers, because this is the Drogheda Motor Show, I remind you, coming live from the Droichead Arts Centre. 10 years. Happy birthday, Drogheda Motor Show. It's been 10 fantastic years. Here's to the next 10. Yes, and we're going to hear now from a new kid on the block. Yes, it's Colm Quinn, BMW and Mini.
Hello, I'm Colm Quinn from Colm Quinn BMW and Mini here in Drogheda. The company was originally established in 2008. We have retail centres in Athlone, one in Galway, and we chose this site in the M1 Retail Park to establish BMW and Mini showrooms for the North East. My recommendation to anybody buying a BMW, Mini, or any car for that matter, is to deal with the main dealer. The backup is there, the history checks are there. You've got 3 years warranty with all new cars we sell. You've got 2 years unlimited mileage warranty with every used car we sell. We've got service. We provide very competitive finance rates. So there's a million reasons why you should deal with the main dealer there to save a few quid. I think the long-term relationship with a business that's established will guarantee you peace of mind in your motoring.
Colm Quinn there, and emphasising the importance of going with a dealer, and you have that reassurance always. And I have to say, Colm Quinn, he has a beautiful range of cars up there on the north side of Drogheda, and he's working away there on his new showrooms and garage, and we wish him well. Please, I say it again, do support our charities tonight. We appreciate every euro we get from you. Down Syndrome Ireland Loudmead branch and Malta Services. And we'll hear about Malta Services in a wee while. And again, it's brandnewdrive.ie and the donate button. Thank you indeed. It's time to bring sport into the conversation this evening. And I have a legend with me now, folks. When I tell you, 8 times winner on the European Tour, 5 on the European Senior Tour, 2 on the Champions Tour across the Atlantic, twice played on the Ryder Cup, and vice captain in 2006. Des Smith, it's great to see you again.
Thank you very much, Terry.
Thank you for joining us. Hey, Des, what's golf like with no fans?
Well, it's like every other sport. It's not easy. You've lost a lot of atmosphere. I'm sure the players are finding it difficult in the different circumstances. As Rory McIlroy was saying, his mind was drifting with the lack of buzz from the crowd. So that'll take a bit of time to adjust to, but I think they're delighted to be back playing. It was looking like the whole year was going to be scrubbed some time ago, but now they're managing tournaments in America, and they played their first tournament in Europe, in the UK this week. Great finish. I watched it this afternoon. I really enjoyed it. But you do miss the crowds, obviously.
Yes, and Johnny Caldwell, we have to say, did very well.
Yeah,
top 10 finish.
Yeah, he's a great story. He's a comeback kid, so that was a really nice finish.
He really is. You mentioned Rory there. He's been deposed as world #1, but we have a European taking his place, John Ram.
That's right, John Ram, who won the Dubai Duty Free Irish Open last year and won it 2 years previous up in the north. So yeah, look, Rory's an amazing player. He's been 3 times #1, and he's the type of guy now, because he's been taken off the pedestal, he'll probably jump right back in there, because he's not a Tiger Woods, where Tiger's intensity was always so amazing.
Yes.
Rory's the type of guy that, once he jumps a few fences, he kind of puts his feet up and relaxes, and then when somebody gets past him, then he goes back to work again.
So watch this space.
I expect him to get back there soon enough.
Des Smith this evening. The debate rages, and you've seen this. Deschambault, his driving ability. Oh my God, he's driving it to outer space. What do you make of what Jack Nicklaus had to say about tampering with the ball to try and remove distance?
Yeah, it's a difficult one. I don't think it affects the majority of golfers around the world. I mean, I think there's something like 33 million or 40 million golfers in the world. You're talking about a tiny minority of elite players where this type of thing is happening. So there might be a case for a uniform ball where it goes a certain distance and no further. I don't think that's the answer. I think the answer is tightening up golf courses, making the rough a bit more difficult for the elite players, not for your average player. And, you know, Jack did it last week in Muirfield Village, and DeChambeau missed a cut.
He did. That's true. And he took a 10, didn't he?
He did. So I think there is a way around this. And in some of the Open Championship courses where the rough is this deep, if he hits it offline, it's a 7 or 8. I think the courses are suiting him. So anyone who likes to have a punt, I think he's a model for the Masters, you know, where he's got a bit of space, there's no rough. He'll be hard to beat there.
Get your money on DeChambeau. Des is backing him anyway. No Ryder Cup this year. You played in it twice. You were vice captain. I was just thinking, 12 and 12 players. Would it not have been easy enough to stage?
Yeah, it probably would have. I thought they might have a shot at it, but you know, there's a lot of finance involved, and even with these tournaments they're running, the sponsorship is reduced by something like 80%. It's only TV that want it.
Yes.
So you have to look at that side of the thing, and the Ryder Cup is a big money spinner for the PGA of America when it's in America, and the European Tour when it's in Europe. It finances a lot of stuff that's going on. So I think that was the main reason. But the players themselves were saying, really, without the crowds, it just mightn't have that magic.
Bringing it back home before we finish, a boom for local golf. No golf for a time with the lockdown, and then everybody wanted to get out. And the clubs are experiencing people coming back to the game.
Well, that as well, and also the tee times are full. And there is a very easy explanation. There's so many people not working. That's the bottom line. I mean, people are saying to me, the course is not normally this full. But I said, you know, all the pubs are closed. All the people who work in the pubs, they like to play golf, you know. And lots of other businesses, the people are working from home now. So they're taking the day off and working in the evening and the morning. So what do? They book a time on the golf course. And that's the reason why the course is on. It's great that they can get out and do it. It's one of the sports you can get out and stay well away from people.
Well, talking about getting out, what are you up to yourself? Are you tipping away?
Yeah, I retired officially last year. You know, I'd done 46 years on tour. That's a long time. And for about a year prior to that, I was thinking about it. I thought, that'll do. So I'm in a happy place now. I do a bit of charity work. I do a bit of social golf. And I still love playing golf. I have to be honest.
I don't think there'd be too many who'd play you for the fiver or the tenner or whatever. Tell me this, one last thing has just come to my mind. In your years playing, were you ever with anybody where there was a car on offer for a hole-in-one and they won it? You?
Yeah.
You did it yourself?
I did it myself, yeah.
Where?
I won a tournament in Barcelona in 1983. And I also won the car with it because I hole-in-one on the 17th. So it was one of the biggest weeks I ever had on tour. I won the tournament and the car. Now, but it just shows you the difference in money, Jerry. The car was worth more than winning the tournament compared to what's going on today. But that's a true story.
What a fantastic story. Well, does it surprise me? It doesn't. You're a wonderful guy and you're still doing great work. You really are on the charity scene as well. I know that. Des Smith, thank you so much for honouring us with your presence here.
You're very welcome.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Yes, Des Smith there. What a great guy he is. Now, remember our charities, folks. Again, I say it to you again. Down Syndrome Ireland Loudmead branch and Malta Services. Brand new drive.ie. The donate button. Give what you can. And you're in a chance of winning €250. Yes, a shop local voucher. Time to hear from another of the car dealers because that's what it's all about tonight. It's a celebration of 10 years here at the Droichead Arts Centre of the Drogheda Motor Show. Yes, have a look at what Connacht's Garage are doing.
Hi everyone, welcome to Connacht's Dunleer. First established in 1985, so 35 years in business. I'd like to introduce you to the Seat brand, from the all-new Seat Ibiza, Arona, Ateca, fully connected Leon, and the 7-seater Irish Car of the Year Seat Tarraco.
Hi there, welcome to the new Seat Leon, Seat's first fully connected vehicle. As you can see, has loads of features such as lane assist, adaptive cruise control, side assist.
Our tip from Connacht's here today to the Irish motorist is tyre safety. Tyres must be the right size for your vehicle, be properly inflated, be free from any defects, and have a minimum depth tread of 1.6 millimetres.
Connacht's Garage, Dunleer, County Louth, Say It dealers. And what an important message that is there. There are so many of us never check the tyres. I'll have to be honest, I'm a bit like that myself. And they're the only thing between you as a driver, the road, and your safety and the safety of others. Please do check your tyres, as Connacht said there, that the tread levels are appropriate. And especially now as we move on through the year into autumn, winter, it's even more important. Now, my next guests are an amazing family, and they're on the settee, and we're going to say hello to them. It's the Phillips family, and they're the nature detectives. And I want to say hello to Dad Peter, Mum Olivia, and to Rose, Emily, and Annabelle. You're all very welcome.
Hi, Jerry.
Thank you for joining us on the show. Dad, I was looking at you, and I have been looking at you for some time on Zoo TV. It's simply magic. You work at Dublin Zoo.
Yeah, I've been working in the zoo for the last 32 years, so I've always been interested in animals and biodiversity and nature.
And you specialise in?
Birds are my main area of interest, but I kind of move around in the zoo. I job share, so I look after the kids during the week as well, so I have to keep them busy.
Okay, no wonder that the nature detectives, when they have a mentor like you, Peter. Tell me about the Indian hornbill, because you have a particular penchant for this bird.
Yeah, well, we had Indian hornbills in the zoo for a long time, and they were in the old Roberts house. Now, we don't have them in the zoo anymore, but Axie was the name of the male, and during the year he'd be fine, you know, he'd be quite calm. You could go into the aviary with him, but during the breeding season he was quite aggressive. And one year I went in to take out his food tray, and he came down and he clocked me on the head, and he actually split my head clean open. It ended up in A&E in Drogheda. So I had to go in, and the nurse asked me, what happened to you, you know, thinking I was obviously in a fight, maybe I got a bottle over the head, but I had to explain to her that I was actually hit in the head by an Indian hornbill, so.
And she says, pull the other one. Fantastic, great story. Mum, I have to say hello to you. You're a school teacher.
Yeah, I'm a primary teacher in Dunleer in Skullbreed. I have first class there, so I love my job there. It's great.
Are the little ones, and we're going to talk to your little ones now in a moment, are they into, you know, nature? Is it something they love?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, I think lockdown, when we were all at home and we all got a fright when school closed. And Peter has always been interested in nature, and we just have had the time to listen to him, and we were going out in the garden now a lot, and he's teaching us all about, he was doing some moth trapping, and it was amazing to see all the different moths that you can catch, and we're learning all the different names of all the animals, and the wildflowers are beautiful that I never noticed before.
Yes.
So it's just, he's opened our eyes to nature and the beauty of nature, so we're delighted.
It's great to hear that the lockdown in nature enables a husband to be listened to by his wife and children. I think that's just fantastic.
I had a captive
Girls,
audience.
how are you? You're very welcome to the Motor Show this evening. Who's going to tell me about these owls? Go on.
Rose.
Go on, Rose.
Yeah, well, Oscar and Vincent, we feed them dead mice and dead chicks, which is a bit disgusting. But like, I'm a vegetarian, so when I see them eating, I don't eat chicken. So when I see them, I'm like, okay, well that's there. But then sometimes Vincent would actually hold the chick with his foot and start ripping it, and I'd be like,
Oh. Hard to watch, but it is nature, and it is the law of nature. You understand that as well.
Yeah.
Where did the owls come from? Tell me.
I don't think she really knows.
Do you know where they came from? What's their names? Tell me their names.
Oscar and Vincent.
Okay, Oscar and Vincent. Do you love them?
Yeah.
Why do you love them?
Because when Vincent and Oscar was kind of asleep, Vincent goes kind of like big. Like
Yes.
Big. But then when they wake up, it's usually go very thin and thin.
So they puff out when they're sleeping, and then
like Santa.
That is a fantastic comparison, because Santa is certainly buffed out, isn't he?
Yeah.
Santa is always.
And so the owls can't really move their eyes like, so they can move their head like backwards.
Yes.
The eyes are.
Yes.
Their eyes are fixed in their head,
Yep.
owls, so they can't sort of look. They have to turn their heads left and right to look. So it makes a sort of peculiar look when they stare at you. They give you really these big stares with the orange eyes.
And we had bird experts in the other day, so we found out that Oscar is actually a girl.
And
so
Vincent
we have
is a
Vincent
boy.
is a boy. So we
Are you going to
have-
change the name?
Well, we haven't decided yet what Oscar is going to be.
Yeah, we
a
haven't
girl.
decided.
So that's a decision to be made.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But we might have a pair because it's a male and a female.
Yeah.
So we're
Oh.
hoping they might stay together once they're released
There you are.
back to
And
the
where
wild.
did they come from?
So they were orphaned owls, so they were blown out of their nests. So we took them in as foster owls.
Yeah.
And we built an aviary for them. So the idea is that we'll keep them for a couple of months and then release them back into the wild. So hopefully, fingers crossed, next week we'll release them back into the wild.
You're just back, I believe, from a little breakaway. Girls, how was that? Come on, you tell me, yeah?
It was really fun. We went to Hidden Valley. And it was actually a bit annoying because I had to go out with shoes. I had to wear shoes. Yeah, she hates wearing shoes.
Do you?
During lockdown, Emily wouldn't wear shoes. She's at
Barefooted.
one with nature. She's barefoot all day.
Yeah, and I follow around with my shoes not on.
Do you?
But
So you're
I-
copying. What about you?
I prefer my shoes.
You like the shoes on. Oh, I see.
Hidden Valley, we went down with a group of our friends to
We
Hidden
were
Valley.
just back from camping.
Yeah.
And Hidden Valley is amazing. We've been going there every
And you've been seeing lots of creatures and wildlife and
Yeah.
all that type
So
of
it's been great. We grew long grass in the garden this year, and we've moths and butterflies, and we've been out exploring nature in the garden. So we've had a wonderful few months.
And it means you don't have to cut the grass.
And Hidden Valley in the lake, there was a little lake, and there was a family of ducks.
Beautiful.
Ducks in
Did
the
you see
river.
Donald? No?
No.
No, he wasn't there, was he?
No.
Oh, water, wildlife. I just love it myself. I think you're a fantastic family. I really do. Thank you for joining us and telling us about the owls and your love of nature. And we wish you well. They can check you out. Viewers tonight can check you out. Nature Detectives.
That's right. The Nature Detectives on Facebook and on Instagram.
Fantastic. Peter, Mum Olivia, Rose, Emily and Annabelle. Yes, it's the Phillips family, the Nature Detectives. Thank you for joining us on the Motor Show this evening.
Thank
It's great
you
to
very
meet you.
much.
Thank you, Jerry.
Thank you.
Well done, well done. Aren't they just fantastic? Oh my word. Nature, wildlife, there's nothing like it. And I think in lockdown, it's brought it home to us even more, what we have, the beautiful nature and countryside we have on our doorsteps. Now, I mentioned that we have 2 charity partners tonight we're supporting. The other one is Malta Services. They're wonderful, wonderful people. They do great work. Let's have a look at what they're up to.
Since 1969, Malta Services Drogheda has provided support and services to adults with intellectual disabilities from the Drogheda, South Louth and East Meath region. We strongly believe in empowering people to live a full life of their choosing amongst their community and to make contributions to Irish society and culture. We support over 100 members. The level of support is tailored to meet the needs of each individual. We have Malta Access to support members in education and employment, choices for early school leavers, and day services in Far Street. Our vision is that all people, when in Malta Services Drogheda, participate equally and without prejudice in society. The continued support that we receive from the people in Drogheda and this region helps to make this possible. When you support Malta Services Drogheda, you're helping us to make a real difference. Thank you.
Yes, Malta Services Drogheda, a wonderful, wonderful charity, and we're backing them all the way this evening. They empower people to live a full life of their own choosing in their own communities, making a contribution to Irish life, society and culture. That sums Malta Services up, and it's the way it should be, but they need money, they need support to keep those services going. So don't forget, donate. Please give us what you can this evening. Every euro counts for both of our charities. Time to hear from another of our motor dealers just now. Yes, it's all about the motor dealers here this evening. It's not a show, as you know, at the Drogheda Motor Show, but it is a very special show coming to you live from the Droichead Arts Centre this evening with such wonderful guests. And we're celebrating 10 years of the Drogheda Motor Show. It's time now to hear from another wonderful dealer. It's Drogheda Car Sales.
Hello and welcome to Drogheda Car Sales. Our sales team are Connor, Dylan and I'm Frank. I'm sales manager here since we opened in 2012. We started off as main dealers for Hyundai, but we are delighted to add Suzuki brand to our lineup last year. Our new Suzuki showroom was opened in February and we are now main Hyundai dealers for Louth and main Suzuki dealers for both Louth and Meath.
Our top motoring tip is always explore your finance options. Motor dealer finance can be the simplest and most affordable way to fund your new vehicle. It's always worth checking APRs with banks and credit unions, but your local motor dealer will most likely have the best rates going. We are currently offering customers packages with as little as 0% APR, so always make sure to explore your finance options when buying your next car.
Yes, Drogheda Car Sales want to see you in their showrooms next week, and they're talking there about finance. And of course, finance, you need the bobs, don't you, to buy a car? And we're going to be talking about finance on the show very shortly. Still to come tonight on this special celebration, 10 years of the Drogheda Motor Show, shopping locally. Yes, we're going to be talking about that in a few moments' time. We're going to hear from foodies and the youth theatre people from the Drogheda here. We'll also be having a chat with them. But now it's time for some music. And this, folks, I have to tell you, is really special. I think it's so appropriate at this time for all of us, and especially for some of people out there who follow a certain Premier League football club. Yes, it's one of our own, a rising star. She joined us here on stage earlier on in the day. It's soprano Hannah O'Brien, accompanied by David Leddy, performing You'll Never Walk Alone.
Your head up high and don't be afraid of the dark. At the end of the storm, there's a golden sky and the sweet silver song of the lark. Walk on through the wind, walk on through the rain, though your dreams be tossed and blown. Walk on with hope in your heart, and you'll never walk alone. You'll never walk alone. Walk on with hope in your heart, and you'll never walk alone. You'll never walk
Oh my word.
Look at the hairs on the back of my neck. They're just standing up, and I'm sure people watching this evening feel the same. That song just does it every time.
Thank you.
Soprano Hannah O'Brien, accompanied by the wonderful David Leddy. Magnificent, may I say. Are you a Liverpool fan?
I'm not. My housemate is though, so I watch many games.
So you know the story of the week gone by?
Yes, absolutely.
It's been fantastic for
Yeah.
Liverpool supporters. But may I say, that song, so appropriate this time, you know, Hannah, for everybody with what we've been through since March.
Absolutely. When I was asked to do pick a piece, I was thinking about maybe Mahler, Schubert, or Puccini, or Mozart, and I thought something that more people would know and more people connect with would be more appropriate, especially for the time that's in it.
Lovely choice, really appropriate. You're studying at the Royal Irish Academy of Music in Dublin, and you're in master's year, and you have exams coming up.
Yeah, I'm just finishing my second year of my master's, and I was supposed to be finished on the 2nd of June, but everything's been pushed back due to COVID. So my final recital ever, it'll be my 7th one actually, will be in August, at the end of August.
Plenty of time to practice, no
Absolutely,
pressure.
Yeah.
For yourself, you know, you've played many parts in opera, and you are a real star of the future. Where do you see yourself?
I hope to see myself actually doing opera. There's lots of other paths that you can go into, but I want to just do opera. So I hope to, in the next year, get a really good audition package together and audition for studios or opera schools, just for the next step before going into an opera house, hopefully.
Oh, I think that's only a matter of time. And David with you tonight, he was there the first day, wasn't he, in the Royal Academy?
Yeah, I went up to audition for the Royal Irish Academy, and I didn't even know what language I was singing in, but David was there with me, kind of getting me through it in my rock.
He's been with you all the way.
Yeah.
You're fantastic. You have the most beautiful voice, and I'm sure that in the future you will grab that role with a company and soar. Your star is on the rise.
Thank you.
Hannah O'Brien, thank you so much.
Thank you.
Oh, what a fantastic young lady she is, and what a talent. And she, believe you me, is going places, that's for sure. Today here, there weren't many of us in the auditorium, but I meant what I said there. You just have the hair standing on the back of your neck. That's if you had some. I think I have a bit, and it did stand today, I can assure you. Now it's time to hear from another of the motor dealers, because we are celebrating 10 years of the Drogheda Motor Show right here in the Droichead Arts Centre this evening, with a range of guests from all walks of life. And we have three ladies sitting ready to chat to you in a few moments. But before we meet them, and it's all about retail, and retail is so important at the moment, let's hear from Jack Doran Motors.
Hi and welcome to Jack Doran Motors. My name is Mark. We are the Kia and Citroen dealers in the Northeast. We're a family-run business. We're here 21 years, and we have a wide range of vehicles, new and used, cars and commercials. We have the Kia e-Niro, the brand new Kia Exceed plug-in hybrid, the e-Soul. We also on the Citroen range have the C5 Aircross.
Okay guys, the main advantages of owning a full electric car or a plug-in version of it are low road tax, full electrics, low maintenance costs. The car has no tailpipes, so therefore no emissions, and great for the environment. The running costs are quite low, and then of course you have a full 7-year warranty with the cars. So if you're looking for peace of mind motoring, it really is here at Jack Doran Motors, home of the 7-year warranty with Kia.
Yes, it's a real trend, isn't it? Electric, hybrid, and Jack Doran Motors would be only too happy to have a chat with you if you're looking in that direction. And all else besides, lovely new cars and a great stock of used as well. That's Jack Doran Motors. Now, I can't stress enough how important it is for all of us to shop local at this time, and shop local for the rest of the year and beyond, because businesses need our support, and we've got to support our own. And we're going to talk about it for the next while, because I'm joined on the settee and beside me by Miriam Simon. She's a specialist in consumer behaviour and trading strategy, and she's Vice President of Drogheda Chamber as well. And on the settee, yes, it's Mary Murtha from the Orange Room and Lelia Doolan from the Design Gallery. Ladies, you're all very welcome to the show. Thank you for joining me. Mary, if I could start with yourself. You've been a busy bee in lockdown. Tell us what you've been up to.
Well, I suppose, 36 years hairdressing, it was like, 18 weeks of what will I do? So I thought, right, I'm going to use this time, because I've always worked behind the chair, and it's very hard to run a business when you're constantly behind a client. So it was always stop the world, let me off. Let me see from the outside in, and for 18 weeks I spent making the business better, going back to the basics, slowing it right down, because everybody has got this new, patience level where we all can wait a little bit longer. So it was a time to up our service and give the client back the standard that we always had. In regards to the clinic as well, upstairs in the salon, I've rebranded that also. And I've marketed my own hair extensions and hair pieces, and yeah, it's been a crazy 18 weeks. Relaunched the website, so we now shop online, and joined Chamber of Commerce, and I actually love being involved with the local businesses in Drogheda, and it's just been fantastic with all these guys and their support. So it's been a busy 18 weeks, but we've been worthwhile for the business.
A watershed, you'd say, for you and the business. Things you might not have done
Never
or
have done.
attended to had this time not come. Isn't that so interesting? Let's hear from Lelia. Lelia, you put the signs up in the windows. I was walking by and I was reading them and thinking, oh, the poor woman.
Oh, thank
You've been
you,
so
Jerry.
busy too, haven't you?
So busy, and in fairness, that was Miriam's idea to put the signs up on the window. Of course, that would be in my head, but to actually put that into practice would be another thing. So I did a course with Miriam and through the Chamber, and they kind of just initiated a kind of, I don't know, just an enthusiasm that was probably a little bit dead in me to kind of get things going. And I was, I suppose when we were closed, you could just kind of sit back and do nothing. But for about 2 or 3 weeks, I relaxed, and then I kind of went, okay, I need to get things moving. And Miriam was all into the thoughtful gifting, and that's what we're famous for, and just push it and keep putting it out there on social media. So we were delivering, and I was in and out of the shop constantly. After about 4 weeks, and then getting the website ready, which is almost live. So yeah, so it's been busy, and there's been just the whole shop local. The Chamber have been just fantastic, because like that, sometimes you feel alone in retail, but definitely, and Mary and myself would say this together, that we both joined the Chamber in the last few weeks only, but you were never under pressure to do it, but the support was always there.
Yeah,
so fantastic. So everybody in the Chamber, hands up. So yeah, so it's been busy, and since we reopened, it's been a different kind of business, but enthusiastic, and definitely people are just into shopping local, and it's all good. Yeah,
great to hear, and reminding you that she's right beside the historic Lawrence Gate, so check her out when you're up that direction as well.
Thank you.
Miriam Simon, welcome to the show this evening, Vice President of the Chamber. That must be music to your ears to hear the young women talking about joining the Chamber.
Made my day.
Look, there you are, you're so happy. But look, let's talk about, retail at this time and the challenges that people face. I think of the song, When the Going Gets Tough. Would that sum it up? The tough must get going.
Yeah, I think so I probably have a different view than a lot of people. I think we're in a time of massive opportunity, particularly for towns like this, because we're a commuter hub, so to speak. And those commuters are now at home and shopping in the town. And a lot of those commuters won't be going back into Dublin. So there's an opportunity for our retailers to really stand up and show what we can do. And there's been some fantastic innovation in Drogheda in the last few months. And during the lockdown, there was huge work done. And hopefully we're seeing the benefits of that now, and will continue to
in the future.
The course that Lelia referred to there that you were involved with.
So that was we called it the Retail Battle Plan, and we had a group of about 20 retailers that were involved, and it was very highly focused on agile trading, how to trade from behind closed doors, and how to get your business moving. So, and anybody who spent the lockdown working on their business, such as these ladies, actually they put themselves 2 or 3 years ahead of other businesses by using that time so effectively, and so in such a smart way to take their business to the next level. And quite a lot of it was about future fitting, because the whole retail market is changing quickly. So
going forward, and there are people with us tonight watching who have small businesses. Maybe they're sole traders. They might have 1 or 2 involved as well. The Chamber is there to help. You're saying tonight that we are there.
We absolutely are there. And what I would say to you is this actually is your moment, so to speak. For the most of the pain that you're hearing about in the press is being felt by the big old, stalwart retailers. If you are an independent retailer, you are much more agile. You can think on your feet. You can try new things out. And actually, this is the best opportunity that local high streets have had in generations.
That's fantastic to hear. And before we finish, that you two must be saying, wow, this is a real opportunity. Are you optimistic for the future?
Totally, and that's only probably down to Miriam. Otherwise, you would be kind of, I don't know. But definitely, I know I went to Miriam's seminar just before, pre-COVID, probably about 3 weeks before everything shut down, because I felt I needed to be re-energized. And the whole, definitely the commuter thing, and everybody's, shopping more locally now, and it's just all changing. The whole retail thing is changing, so no, it's all.
Even clients
Mary.
that we would have had that went to Dublin as their day out to have their hair done, and they might come to us maybe once a month, but they love their day out to Dublin. I think, and I was to Dublin today myself, and the difference, it's not like it is at home. And even we've seen a lot of clients coming back to the salon and having all of their services done with us, which is brilliant. And I think people are definitely going to shop local, and long may that last.
Here, I
The
say
future
to
is
that,
good.
that's for sure.
Yeah.
And I want to say a big thank you to the ladies for joining me tonight. And I want to mention to you again, please, shop local, support local. That's the message we want to get out tonight. Your car dealers, of course, all 11 who are behind this show tonight, the work the Chamber does as well. But we need to do this. We need to go out and spend with our local businesses for the long-term good of everybody. I want to say a big thank you to Mary Murtha from the Orange Room, Lelia Doolan from the Design Gallery, and Miriam Simon, Specialist in Consumer Behaviour and Trading Strategy. Miriam will be staying with us because she's going to join other guests that we're going to have on the show in a few moments' time. So, motor dealers, it's your night. Well done to you all. Congratulations on 10 years of the Motor Show, and it's time to hear from another well-established motor business in the Northeast. Yes, if you're looking for a Toyota, it's got to be Malone's Toyota, Drogheda.
Hi, my name is Kathy Malone, and welcome to Malone's Toyota Drogheda at the M1 Retail Park. We're a local family-run business serving the people of the Northeast for the last 90 years. 7 years ago, we were appointed Toyota dealer in Drogheda, and we have been since then proud participants and supporters of the Drogheda Motor Show. In our showroom, we have our full range of self-charging Toyota hybrids. A couple of years ago, we undertook some research, and we're really surprised to find that in Ireland, 4 out of 5 car seats are incorrectly fitted. We took up a partnership with the RSA to take part in their Check It Fits campaign. The aim of this is simple. We want to help save children's lives by ensuring all car seats are fitted correctly. This is an annual event we host here in our showroom at the M1 Retail Park. Everybody's invited. This service is quick, easy and free.
Yes, Malone's of Drogheda. Safety, child safety, so important in the car to make sure they're strapped in and that the seat does what it's supposed to do. But give them a shout there. Wonderful people, John and everybody involved in Malone's in Drogheda. Beautiful new showrooms there, again, out on the M1 Retail Park on the north side of town. I remind you again, and I appeal to you again, to support our charities this evening. Two wonderful charities, I'll remind you, Down Syndrome Ireland Loudmead branch and Malta Services. Please give what you can. To support them, go to brandnewdrive.ie, click on the donate button, and listen to this, you could be €250 richer on Monday morning, and you'll have a shop local voucher to go and support all these brilliant local businesses. So please, please, donate now and support our wonderful charities. And just while I'm on it, look at the lap of luxury we're sitting in here tonight on the stage. It's like a home from home, I have to say. And you know why that is? Because we're also supporting local business through the show tonight. And the motor dealers and the chamber and everybody insisted on this. And when you look at the lovely furniture, the couches, settees, chairs, the backdrops, etc., Viega Living, they're on the Dunno Road in Drogheda. They have a stunning range of bathrooms, furniture and homeware accessories. So do check them out, viega.com. Now, we're moving on the show this evening. Miriam Simon, as I mentioned a moment ago, is staying with us on the show. She's here with me, specialist in consumer behaviour and trading strategy. That's some title, isn't it? It really is a title and a half. And we're joined on the settee by Gavin Duffy and Garrett Dunn. They are the men behind tapit.ie. So listen to this. How does this sound to you? Get cash back into your bank account when you shop locally. Take a look at this.
Do you want to be rewarded when you shop? Are you fed up of loyalty cards, pointless points, and yet another stamp card? Introducing Tapit Rewards, local retailers that give you cash back. Yes, cash back for shopping with them. Simply download Tapit app, link your debit and credit cards, and pay in store as normal. It's that easy. Pay and get notified of cash back. Withdraw savings to your bank account. Support your local retailers. Tap it and save.
And save. So what's it all about? The boys behind it are with me on the settee. Gavin Duffy and Garrett Gunn are with us. Well, look, we got a little flavour there in the VT of what it's about. What's it about in ordinary woman and man's language?
Well, Jerry, we're really trying to simplify the whole loyalty reward schemes. We both have had experiences of reward systems in the years gone by with, trying to find key fobs, trying to find cards, losing stamps, forgetting points that you've built up and not being able to spend them. So we really tried to simplify it and try to give people what they want, which is, everybody wants to get cash back when they go shopping. So we tried to simplify it so that, you just download your app, you link your bank card, and then you just go and use that bank card in any of the participating retailers that we have on our app. It's really that simple. So we're all about just trying to simplify the whole experience for both the retailer, there's no setup on their side, and for the user as well.
So Garrett Gunn, instead of having to remember all the different loyalty schemes I'm associated with, numbers, PIN codes, give me a break on this one. You have come up with something here that I can connect all of my cards. Take it, I have a number of cards, credit and bank cards as well, others as well. I can connect to your app.
Yeah, simply connect your debit and Visa card, debit and credit card to the app, and go and spend on your local retailers as normal. As Gavin says, we've simplified the experience. Every business that is out there wants us as a customer back more regularly, and to do that with the current loyalty cards, points and stamp cards, it doesn't work for us as customers. So what we've created simply is just a cashback incentive. It's what we all want. It's tangible, it's real, and it builds in your account that you can then withdraw to your bank account as a savings. And that's the motivating factor that us as consumers want while going shopping. And it makes that connection with the retailer, and it makes us want to go back to that same retailer. So essentially, for the retailers in Drogheda, it's another way, a very valuable way of targeting us as customers. Like, we're promoting out their offers, and then in turn we're going and supporting them. And as we know in times that we are now, it's even more pressing to support local. Yes. And we're giving customers a paid way to support local. They're getting paid to support local, if you want to look at it like that.
So when I go in a practical sense to the shop, and I've downloaded your app, and I go shopping, and I pay for something with a card or whatever, How's the link made then? What happens? Does anything happen physically in the shop?
No. Well, nothing physically, but you get a notification to your phone.
Okay.
So we're tracking. We track on the Visa and Mastercard side. So we get notified of a transaction from your debit card. So I've no doubt you've already downloaded the app and you're using it already. So when you use that and pay in store, we'll get notified and then we'll apply that to your account.
Okay, so by just using the card, I'm connected to you.
As normal.
And I don't have to do anything else.
You don't have to do anything else. And the retailer has to do nothing.
And does it cost me anything?
No.
Nothing?
The user?
No.
Nothing.
And Jerry, and we all know that you love your cars. So I think you said during the week you're on your 26th car. So for your 27th car, you can download the Tapit app and you get a cashback.
Will you stop? The dealers are all involved with us here this evening. I'll be hounded.
They're sweating now.
When I leave here. I'm sweating. Never mind them, to be honest with you. Look, Miriam, come in here. Drogheda is going to be a pilot town for this.
It is. We're very proud. The Drogheda Chamber has been working with the guys for a few months now, and we're very proud that this is the pilot town and that things have launched this week. And it's a really impressive app. I would urge anybody who doesn't have it to download it as quickly as they can, because not only does it help you to shop local, you see the money come back in immediately. You get a little notification. So it's good for the little endorphin hit when you're in the store, when you see the money coming back straight away. So.
And will it accumulate over time? Is it a significant amount? Is it based on so much per 100 or 500 or 1,000 or what? Or how does it work?
It's really customizable per the retailer. So some might offer 2% cash back.
Okay.
Another might offer 10% cash back.
Yes.
So that'll build up over time, and then once it reaches a certain threshold, you're allowed to over €25. You can withdraw then straight to your bank account.
Have you retailers signed already to this in Drogheda?
We have a dozen initial retailers already working with it, and we have more waiting to go on to it. So it is. I think it's a great scheme. If you don't have the app, be you a retailer or a consumer, I'm a real consumer. It's worth getting. It's worth getting.
I have to say, I really like this. I think you've come up with something really special here, and I love when you consolidate all the mix and gather of cards and loyalties, etc. I have. I think it's a fantastic idea, and I'm sure we're going to hear more about Tapit as the weeks and months go by. Well done to both of you. Congratulations to you, Gavin Duffy and Gareth Gunn. You've come up with something really special, and you're smiling.
I'm smiling.
And you'll be smiling too if you're out there watching us tonight. Sign up for this. Download the Tapit app, should I say. Download the Tapit app now, and you will be saving money from your go shopping as soon as possible. Well done to you, lads. Thanks for joining us on the show tonight. And Miriam, Simon, a pleasure to have you with us again. Thank you very much indeed. Now, reminding you about our charities, ladies and gentlemen, again. I hope you're enjoying the show. Lots of variety, lots of people to meet here this evening. How does €250 sound to you? How would you like that? That voucher to go shopping in your locality next week? Well, it can be yours. Brandnewdrive.ie. Click on the donate button and you'll be supporting our two chosen charities here this evening at the 10th anniversary Drogheda Motor Show. And remember, every single donation makes a huge difference to both of those charities. Now, we do know that we're in the beautiful Boyne Valley here, and the Boyne Valley food producers have been just an unbelievable success. And the Boyne Valley is a big region stretching from the coast here in County Louth and Meath, Drogheda, right up and into County Meath itself. And me and my love of food and food producers is something that I always love to promote anytime. And it's the same with the Drogheda motor dealers. They were very keen to give an outing tonight to food producers and food people who prepare food. And we have two very special guests for you now to meet on the show, and I know them well. We have Maria Flynn from Ballymakenny Farm and Tara Walker from East Coast Cookery School. Ladies, you're very welcome to the show.
Great to see you, Jerry.
And looking $1 million. Not in the working gear for a change, I have to say. Maria Flynn, tell us about Ballymakenny Farm and the Spud Shack.
The Spud Shack came about a bit of a baptism of fire the weekend that the lockdown happened because of COVID. And I went into a bit of a lockdown myself in my head. And I had potatoes. I needed to sell them. I was allowed to sell them, but I was very restricted with how I could sell them. So I came up with the idea of a drive-through spud shack on the farm. So it was a way of doing it very safely and keeping my head busy more than anything. And it's developed, and it's just becoming something I never even dreamt of. It's amazing,
Yes.
amazing, yeah.
It needs be, and here you have something brand new that's working for you. And of course, your sales channels would have been closed with the close down of
100%,
restaurants.
100%. My chefs were all stopped from doing what they do, so 100%.
And of course, to do something like this, you need a little help as well. And one of our main sponsors in the show tonight, I believe, were a great help to you.
For Citizen,
Yes.
Prior to the whole COVID thing, I came across them when I bought my van with Hullcrafts actually, and I tied up with First Citizen to do that, and went on for 2 other purchases with them. They're a great company to deal with, I will say that. And all the way through COVID, actually Robert Murray was one of my best customers. And he spread the word, it was great.
Good to hear. Tara Walker, welcome to the show. We were just talking on radio the other day, for you, life changed immeasurably as well.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, you haven't been out for your monthly cook-alongs, and obviously I've had no customers, and we've made the decision, unfortunately, to close the doors at home. You know, we have the purpose-built kitchen, but it is my home kitchen as well, so we just don't have the space to make it feasible and socially distanced properly. So I'm going to be doing classes in other venues for the foreseeable future, basically, yeah.
Can you tell us where you'll be?
Yes, of course. Forgefield Coffee Shop.
Lovely.
Which is obviously in the farm shop there. And then also Drumshallan Forge, which is on the Ballymckenny Road. It's only really 5 or 6 minutes from us up the road, yeah.
And you can social distance safely there with numbers.
Yes, and we're very lucky. Flowgas has actually sponsored 2 demo kitchens for me in each venue for the next few months, so I'm going to have sort of permanent demo kitchens set up in both venues for a couple of months minimum anyway.
Oh,
yeah.
that's terrific.
Yeah.
Good to hear. And of course, you've come to learn Zoom.
Yes.
Your classes.
Yes, yeah, Zoom cook-alongs. So actually they've worked out really nicely. You know, it's actually really nice seeing people in their kitchens cooking along, you know, and the kids are involved, and sometimes there's a little bit of bickering going on, and it's great crack. Yeah, it was really good. And at the beginning, I actually manned Maria's Spud Shack for a few days. I just walked up the road.
Good woman. Yeah. So community working well out Ballymckenny way.
Yeah.
This year, you know, we had 2 terrific months, as you know, with the lockdown at the start, the weather. It's been a bit iffy since. How are the crops coming along?
Really well. Yeah, because we're getting the 2 things we need. We're getting heat and we're getting rain. So the crops are getting everything they need at the moment. I just hope it knows to stop raining when we have to harvest the potatoes. But I'll worry about that then.
And for you, Tara, you've always been a great advocate of local producers and using local producers, no air miles, as close as possible to you, into your cookery school, and encouraging people as well to support them.
Absolutely. I mean, even yesterday, I called down to Maria for some potatoes, but she had just harvested the broccoli. And when I got it home, like just even on a small example, you know, usually if you buy broccoli in the supermarket, like the end of it is all tough and you have to cut it off. Because it was so fresh, the end is still wet.
No,
and
no woody bits. No
yeah,
woody bits.
yeah, it's gorgeous. It's absolutely gorgeous. I mean, I love that. Like, you only harvested that yesterday morning, and then we had it for our dinner last night, you know. So nice.
What's your top tip coming from the Ballymckenny farm fields this year? What should we look out for besides your wonderful spuds, the broccoli, everything else you do there?
I'm not telling you any secrets. I'm
Oh, go on.
No,
Go on.
no. I'm keeping that for the Late Late Show with Ryan.
Get off that sofa.
Listen, just fresh produce. The Drogheda people have been fantastic. I've often said to you, Jerry, the public won't get what I'm trying to do with veg and potatoes and the different colours and stuff. And you've often said to me, I think you're wrong, Maria, and I was wrong. Yeah.
Oh, no, there is a palette out there and
definitely.
a desire for what
Yeah.
you produce. And you do it so well, may I
Thank
say.
you.
You really do.
Well, David has something to do
Ah,
with it.
sure, look, behind every great woman, there has to be a man, generally, doesn't there?
Yeah.
Anyway, it's great to meet both of you. And Tara, I so miss going to the cookery school. Please, God, fingers crossed, I'll be out with you
It's great to
soon
see you
again.
in person.
Yeah,
Yeah,
great
it
to
is.
see you.
Yeah, we've
It's
been
great to
on
see
the
everybody
phone a
tonight.
lot. Yeah, yeah.
Because I've missed you all. I have
Yeah.
to say, I really, really have. But you're wonderful, wonderful people, and keep on doing what you do absolutely brilliantly.
Thanks,
Tara
Jerry.
Walker from East Coast Cookery School and Maria Flynn from Ballymckenny Farm and the Spud Shack. Give her a shout, the Spud Shack. It's fantastic. Thank you so much indeed, ladies.
Thank
you
you.
for joining me on the show. Now, we're moving on the motor show this evening, and we're coming back now to the whole area of buying a car and car finance. Now, if you're thinking about buying a car at the moment, and you're wondering, where's my next car? I want to buy a used car. How am I going to finance it? Well, we really have something for you here this evening, and I wanted you to take a look for a moment first at this little video. Yes, Dawn Finnegan with her brand new car, well, her new car, sorted there with AutoPoint. It's fantastic. It really is. And you saw there, Dawn, from start to finish, going online, having a look at the car, arranging the finance, and collecting her used car from her dealer there. And that's really how simple it is. We're going to talk about it and more besides for the next while, because I'm joined now on the settee by Chris Hanlon from First Citizen Finance, one of our main sponsors here this evening, and Emma Mitchell is with us as well, Director with the Society of the Irish Motor Industry. You're both welcome. Thank you for joining me this evening. That's too good to be true, Chris Hanlon.
Well, our business is about helping dealers sell more cars using finance as a tool. And so what we've been doing over the last number of years is using the internet to its best advantage. And autopoint.ie allows us to keep motoring local. So I think for the dealers in Drogheda, it's going to be a welcome addition.
So that's the idea, again, and this has been a theme running through the show tonight. You want people to be able to have a look at what's available in the used car space within a radius of their locality and go there and make the purchase.
Yes, because when you see the amount of money that's been invested by the dealers in Drogheda, you see the quality of the showrooms, the training of the salespeople, they're ideally placed to enable you to tailor a program specifically for yourself.
And again, we saw Dawn there on the phone, loves the car, and the business and the transaction happens from start to finish. And you approve the finance?
Yes.
She goes and picks up the car?
Yes, she can do all that. I think that the benefit maybe that we've had, if there's any benefit of COVID-19, was to allow us to look at our technology and extend it in such a way that we were able to complete the deal from inception to completion at collection. So it's something that we wanted to do. We can do it now. I think there's always going to be a big role for the showroom and for the salesman who's trained, but we want to make sure that all the tools are available to get in front of more customers more often.
Why opt for First Citizen Finance? You know yourself, there are a range of options there. The credit union, we're not far from the building here where we sit tonight. You have bank options, you have dealers with finance options.
Yeah.
What sets you apart?
Well, I think the difference between ourselves and other companies has been around for quite a long time. The name First Citizen is quite new, but we've been in business now for nearly 30 years. And we've probably been involved in more than the sale of maybe 1 million cars. So we have a lot of experience, a lot of well-trained salespeople, very competitive financing, as we are supported by many international banks. And so we've been here for a long time. We can get that deal done for you.
And this show tonight, you were very keen to be part of this and to back this to the hilt, the 10-year anniversary.
But Robert, our marketing manager, has been instrumental in getting this program going for so long. I mean, sometimes I think he actually works for Drogheda and that we just pay him. And I'm very happy to do both. But having said that, it's his enthusiasm and his energy that makes this happen. with the support of the dealers. And I think they know that, which is fantastic.
Let's turn to Emma Mitchell, Director with the Society of the Irish Motor Industry. You're welcome to Drogheda this evening, Emma. You know, we've heard all about the frontline health staff who've been magnificent during COVID and putting their lives on the line. But perhaps people don't realise that a lot of your people and members have also been right at the front line.
Yeah, I suppose the motor industry played a vital role in keeping the frontline staff and the emergency services motoring. It could have been either supplying a car, servicing the vehicles, keeping the trucks on the road and keeping our supermarkets stocked. So we're very proud of all of the work that they did in the background, and as you said, it was a very difficult time. And what made it somewhat easier was getting open in the first phase on the 18th of May. Was almost like a World Cup qualifier moment for us. It's like they can get back to work. And it was down to really their professionalism. And as you saw in the earlier VT of all of the procedures and the equipment that they've put in place, people actually feel very safe going in at the moment. And we're hearing great news. We're hearing that they're very busy, and surprisingly so. You know, business is booming now. So
there is a real lift, and we want to say that again this evening. The market is buoyant, and Tony Conlon was talking about it earlier on. So different than the last time when we experienced the crash. I did mention to Tony, and while I have you here, I might take the opportunity, you know, electric cars, the batteries in electric cars, the range, the potential that gives, you know, for somebody maybe to go the whole hog. Hybrid's very popular, as you know, at the moment. What's Simo's take on that?
Well, as you've seen throughout all of the videos now, throughout the show, there's so many technologies available. There's a car for everyone. Everyone has different needs, different driving needs. And, you know, as you said, you've got electric, you've got 2 different types of plug-in, 3 different types of plug-in, and you've got petrol and diesel. So really what we'd say is, you know, if you're looking for information, and I know Tony had mentioned this earlier on as well, do your research, but also speak to the salespeople, go into the dealerships. The cars are there, and the salespeople are very well trained, as Chris mentioned as well. Yeah. They're the experts in their field. You can go through all of the types of driving you do, and Drogheda is very well placed for commuting driving, motorway driving in more rural areas. So, you know, as I said, everyone has different needs, different boot space requirements, everything. And really, go in and call into your local dealership. They'll give you the best information.
The SIMI badge, when you see that on a garage, it's reassuring.
It certainly is. They all have to meet a certain standard to become a member of ours. And it is a really, it's a badge for the consumer. It's a quality mark almost. And you know, we've set up a Drive Greener campaign as well to try and give people independent information, because there's a lot of technology out there. It can bamboozle people. And our Drive Greener campaign is on our website, simi.ie, and it aims to be an independent source for all of that information. So I'd encourage people to go on.
You're a fantastic organisation, and longevity, you've been there such a long time as well.
Almost 100
you know,
years
as a
now.
guiding and an overseeing group for the whole industry. Well done to you.
Thank you.
Just back to you, Chris, and when we talk about, you know, financing a car, you know, if you're lucky enough and you have the old cash, well, fair dues to you, but I'm certainly not in that bracket. But you know, we've had PCP, you're well familiar with that, and it's helped the industry an awful lot, and it has its place as well.
Yes.
But you know, borrowing through yourselves and that, are the rates as competitive? Rates are very low, you know, on nothing on savings, but on borrowings too, yes.
They are very low. And I think that the most important part is that while there are a range of financial products available in the garages, your salesman's ideally placed to help you get into the right deal. And it's very important that you assess your affordability income. You assess what you can afford to pay, and you don't move outside your comfort zone. And if all those things happen, there won't be an issue.
And approval is swift. Once you have all the information, there'll be no delay there.
Yes, absolutely. We can process deals within 20 minutes.
Really?
Yeah.
That's good to hear. And AutoPoint goes live when?
Wednesday.
So that's the big day, folks.
Yes.
Wednesday is the day to watch for it going live. And again, bring it into your world. It's really, really cool. It really is. And it does what it says in the tin, I can assure you. Listen, it's great to have you both with us on this marvellous occasion this evening here in the Drogheda Arts Centre. 10 years of the Drogheda Motor Show, and nothing would stop them from putting on this show this evening. I want to say a big thank you again to Emma Mitchell, Director with the Society of the Irish Motor Industry. Thank you. And to Chris Hanlon, one of our main sponsors this evening, First Citizen Finance.
Thank you
indeed.
Thanks
Thank you for joining me on the show. Now, We're celebrating tonight, folks, and this really is a celebration of 10 years of this wonderful show, and we're doing it in a very different format with this live entertainment show from the Droichead Arts Centre. But in every entertainment show and in every facet of life, you know, there is sadness as well, and a number of people have passed away in recent years who were go-to people in the motor industry, and they're very familiar, I know, when you see them, to many people who've joined us tonight for this show and who are watching. Let's remember those who've passed, who were key to the motor industry in the past. Yes, we remember Jerry Ryan, Boyne Valley Opal, Mark Varley. I played golf with him many a time. What a lovely, lovely man. Smiths and Opal and more besides. A career in the motor industry. Thomas McPhailim from Blackstone Motors. What a sad loss Thomas was very recently. And I know people's hearts went out to Thomas and his family and all the people in Blackstone Motors. And what do you say about the wonderful Jack Dorn, again, leaving us all too soon and recently. We remember them all at the 10th anniversary of the Drogheda Motor Show here live from the Droichead Arts Centre this evening. I mentioned earlier on, we sit here surrounded, look at the furniture, look at the chairs, look at the seats, look at the backdrops here, but look at Breda Marin's artwork. I draw your attention to it again. Isn't it absolutely beautiful? She's such a talent. And recently, a commission of hers called Heart Space was actually unveiled in the heart of Dundalk, and it's just so beautiful. And we thank her for giving us a loan of this lovely artwork this evening, and I invite you to check out her work and her unbelievable ability and talent on bredamarin.com. Time now to hear from another of the dealers. This show brought to you by the Drogheda Motor Dealers this evening, and it's time to hear from McCabe Car Sales.
Hi, I'm John Donlan from McCabe's Mitsubishi on the Denora Road in Drogheda, and we are the main Mitsubishi dealer in the Northeast. You can visit us on the Denora Road to see the complete Mitsubishi lineup, including plug-in hybrids and 4x4 commercials. So here at McCabe's Mitsubishi on the Denora Road in Drogheda, our top new car tip is very important when you're purchasing a new car, to make sure you have a very good warranty. And here at McCabe's Mitsubishi, we offer an 8-year or 150,000 new car warranty, which is one of the longest new car warranties on the Irish market. And on a commercial vehicle, we also offer 5 years or 150,000 kilometers warranty. So that's great peace of mind for ownership through the years.
Yes, a good warranty is so important, and McCabe's on the Denora Road there. Wonderful Mitsubishi cars. Be delighted to say hello to you this week or any week. Give them a shout and you'll be welcomed and you'll be safe. It's very important to remember that. The whole protocol is in place in all the dealers, the 11 dealers who bring you this wonderful show from the Droichead Arts Centre this evening. And while I'm talking about the Droichead Arts Centre, well, let's bring it all back home for the next few minutes, because I have two members of the Droichead Youth Theatre with me now, Sean Lockery and Aisha Jalali. Welcome to the show.
Thanks very much.
Thank you for joining me. Aisha, if I could start with yourself. We were talking the other evening and you were saying to me, this auditioning, Jerry, it's just not the same. The online auditioning, no, not for you.
No, I just have to say there's something about acting, and especially in this facility and in the Barbican, there's just something about the space and the live action of just being in contact with your fellow actors, and even if it's just with some judges in a room doing an audition, something about it, it's just much easier, much more friendly, much more familiar, I suppose. There's something very artificial about acting online, and I know that a lot of youth theatres have been very clever by going online and doing lots of online plays, but for me, I can't get around it.
It's not you. And I see it. Look how expressive you are. You're like myself with the hand movements and everything like that. Sure, it's just not for you at all.
It's just not for
but,
me.
you know, how do you, you know, motivate yourself or to get up for something like that if you have to do it?
Well, I mean, I suppose I haven't actually had to do any virtual auditions
Yes.
yet. The most I've done is really filling out an application
Okay.
form for the National Youth Theatre.
Yeah.
But I suppose there's comfort in knowing that when I go into our weekly practices, I know that they're familiar faces, you know,
Okay.
so it's about as close as we can get
Yeah,
to
and
the real
that's
thing.
that's a
Yeah.
consolation to you.
Yeah,
But
that's
you know,
motivation,
there's a
though.
new way of this world, even for me in my game as well. You know, it's not easy. I know exactly what you're on about there. What about yourself, Sean? You know, with this lockdown and not being able to meet, there's two groups, isn't there, here in the Droichead? Tell me about them.
Yeah, so basically in the Droichead Youth Theatre, like we take ages, there's ages up to from first year up to sixth year, and then there's the senior group is split into the two groups. So originally we were in mid-rehearsal for two different Shakespeare plays, and then all of a sudden lockdown happened. So we took to online and we took to social media, and we still went with Droichead and Shakespeare. So we did some TikToks, I'm sure people have heard of
Yep.
it. We did some of that, and the other group I know did a bit of a performance on Zoom as well. So we've really just been trying to adapt to the technology and try to still bring the art that we've been bringing over the years.
So you're doing your very best. Are you both in the same group here?
Yes, we are.
Yes. And you're doing Shakespeare as you like it?
Yes. Yeah, that was us.
That's your
Yeah.
one. And the other group are doing what?
Well, the other group, once we split up into two
Yep.
groups, a little bit before lockdown, we split up into As You Like It, and we also split up into Richard III, but that group later transitioned the play into Year of the Rat, which is kind of like their own original piece.
Okay.
So it was originally done, the two pieces, intended for the Shakespeare Festival, which I think was meant to be in March, which obviously didn't go as planned.
So they've remodeled what
they've
they've been
remodeled,
doing, and
yeah.
they've achieved a first of sorts. Am I right there?
Yes, they have. As I said before, many national youth theatres have adapted by going online and doing virtual plays, and Richard III was one of those. And it was a first for Droichead. We've never done any kind of online performances before, and so I think, yeah, they adapted, they basically remolded the play into more about drug wars and drug gangs. I think they put a bit of a modern spin on it, and they
Yes.
sort of changed the meaning of the play. And I think they found actually that while we preferred the physical acting and we just wanted to wait in our group, they preferred the digital format. They actually found that it suited the story of their play better. It actually worked
Okay.
as a kind of alternative performance.
Anyway, are you chomping at the bit to get back
Oh, yes.
on the stage
No,
as where we sit
please.
here?
No,
Yes,
like
the
we're here
nostalgia.
itching. I feel like we're about to start doing a bit of a dance.
Are you getting
here
the
now.
vibe up through the lovely
100%.
furniture at the moment?
Yeah, we're hoping to get back into the room as soon as possible with social distancing and masks and sanitization as soon as we can. So we're all looking at that.
I get the vibe. I know what you have. I understand. And certainly it's a great project to be involved in here in Droichead as well. And you have wonderful people mentoring you and wonderful colleagues as well. So let's hope it's soon that you're back together and performing live on a stage and interacting, like you said earlier on. From the Droichead Youth Theatre, thank you, Sean Lockery
so much.
and Aisha Jalali.
Thank you so
Thank you
much
very
for
much
having us.
indeed for joining us this evening. Great people, aren't they? Wonderful young people. They are indeed. And what talent we have in this wee town. Now, again, our charities. Please, again, I appeal to you tonight. Supporters, you're watching this evening. Give us your support. Give the charities your support. Every euro you donate counts. Brandnewdrive.ie. Click the donate button. Give what you can. And it could be you. Monday morning, your name could be pulled out of the hat. €250 shop local voucher could be yours. That's the prize you can win. So look, a wee donation, you could be €250 in. Wouldn't it be fantastic? And again, reminding you, what you see here this evening on our set, check them out. Fiega Living on the Dunno Road in Drogheda. Fiega.com, furniture and homewares. Now, our next guests, I have to say, I'm thrilled they're here with us on the stage this evening. Because you see, they're celebrating their 3rd wedding anniversary today. I'm delighted to say hello to Pat and Pamela Harty. Welcome.
Thank you, Jerry.
Did you get the flowers?
We did, and thank you so much. We're
Not
thrilled with
at all.
them.
It's the
Absolutely
least we
beautiful.
could do. Ah, no, look, it is lovely to have both of you here. Pat Harty, if I take you back to April 21st, that day will live with you forever.
It will, I suppose, just a couple of days before that, I probably represented about 90% of the people in the country where they knew about COVID, didn't think they'd get it, and they were carrying out all the rules and regulations that probably they should have been. But on the 21st of April, I had probably been very, very tired of myself. I retired to bed, took a couple of days off from work, rang the doctor, thought it was more than a fatigue thing, and he said, look, I'll send you a monitor down. It'll monitor your blood pressure, your oxygen levels and your heart rate, and we'll go from there. Give me a call in the morning. So did that, and the following day gave him the results, and he said, look, I'll have an ambulance there in 5 minutes for you. Them results are disaster, so got to get you up to the hospital. So hospital, I was there that afternoon in a ward, pretty okay. That was Tuesday. Wednesday, Thursday, fairly stable. Thursday, they noticed that there was a bit of a, up and down with the blood pressure and the oxygen levels. So they said, look, we'll put you in ICU. You'll get more attention there. And spent ICU Thursday and Friday. And at that stage then, things started to go wrong. But stabilized again until Saturday. And on Saturday morning, around 12 o'clock, I had respiratory failure, and things were really getting really, really bad. So within an hour or two, the hospital rang Pamela and my son and asked them to come up to the hospital for a chat. And Pamela asked them, what is it about? And they said, look, the doctor just wants to have a few words with you. So at that stage now, I'm pretty bad. Pamela came up with Padraig, and in no uncertain terms, they said, look, we have had Padraig here for 3 or 4 days. He's really gone downhill in the last literally couple of hours, and we're just telling you that we have exhausted all of the things that we can do for him, and that it could be just a matter of hours before you will have him. So obviously with Pamela there, trying to digest all of that, they came home. I went into really a bad situation where oxygen levels were practically down on the floor. Heart rate was up through the ceiling, and I was really, trying to get my breath, couldn't get my breath. So fast forwarding it on to about 5:30, the doctor that I had, the main consultant there, I had a mask on me at the time, and he leaned over and he said, Pat, says he, there's a phone. Will you ring your wife and your kids and tell them that you mightn't see them, that you've about a couple of hours to go. So at that stage, I couldn't talk. The phone was no good to me. It was like a dream. Just couldn't comprehend what was going on.
You couldn't even talk to them.
Things going through my head. Just unbelievable time. So I went on a ventilator. They said, the doctor said, I'm running out of time. Got to get you on a ventilator. Excuse the breathing. Got to get you on a ventilator. And my journey started then for 15 days in a ventilator. I was in a critical condition. A man that was always mobile. Nothing wrong with me. Never had a doctor. never was in hospital. Like yourself, Jerry, very busy man, 7 days a week, had a lot going on in my life, never sick. So at the age of 53, went on a ventilator for 15 days.
Induced coma.
Induced coma, respiratory failure, double pneumonia, sepsis set in, possible kidney failure, blood clotting all along the right hand side.
It was just
Horrendous.
unbelievable, Pamela.
Just
Come in here, Pamela,
horrendous.
and tell me, from your perspective, you know,
Yes,
you're
it
given
was.
that news.
It was unbelievable, Jerry. Like, it was all hard to sink in. And as Pat said, like, myself and Padraig were called up, and to be given that news, I was just devastated. It was just, I couldn't believe it. And like, it was really a difficult time because my mum had only passed away on Christmas morning gone. So I was only dealing with that, and I was still grieving. And then when the doctor sits you down and he tells you that your husband has only a few hours to live. So I said, what am I going to do? So myself and Padraig came home, and I told the two girls, Nikita and Olivia, and I just said, look, it's all in God's hands now. And that's what the doctor had told us, it was all in God's hands. So I started praying, and like, we know a lot of the priests, and I had everybody in Drogheda and all over the world praying hard, and everybody was so good. And the priests all said mass and everything, but every day I got a call. It was a video call, but it wasn't a good call because he was critical. There was no improvement at all. Every day he just seemed to be deteriorating, and it was just really, really tough. And it was tough when you can't be with him.
Yes, because you couldn't go near the hospital to visit or anything.
No,
did you think you were going to lose him? Or did you always believe, is your faith that strong, that it would come through for you?
It's just with everything that was happening, it was like, even when I was in, it was actually, we were in the prefab because they wouldn't let us in the hospital. So they met with us in the prefab outside the hospital. And we got to do a video call, but like, I was there and I was listening to them talking, but it just wasn't sinking in. It was like I was in a different world. And I said, this can't be happening. It's not Pat, like, he's never sick. He'd no symptoms. I don't know how he got it. And I just couldn't understand. So my faith did keep me going, Jerry. It did, because at the end of the day, when it's left in God's hands, who else do you turn to when you're in trouble? I mean, family and everything were fantastic, everybody, and everybody was praying every day. But I just went home, and as the doctor said, it's up to God. So I have this little altar at home in my kitchen, and I just went over to the altar and I knelt down and I begged God to spare him. And I said, if not only for me, for the children, because it broke my heart looking at what they had to go through, and I felt so sorry for them. You know,
have an incredible faith. I've said this before. You really have. You have. But besides God, there was a God on the ground in the hospital as well. The frontline staff, the people who.
There was a team of about 15 between consultants, nurses, and all the team that I was involved with, and there was a number of different teams like physio and cardio and all of that. But they all played their part, and I have to say, like, even some of them, they're at the front line, even some of them, like the fatigue that they have, and they are still going.
Yes.
And, they can't do enough for you. And they got me through it. I could list off a number of different people, but they all know who they are. And they are doing unbelievable, tremendous work in the hospital.
You're a miracle man. You really are. How are you feeling today?
I still have the marks. I'm on, I suppose I could list off a number of different things. The breathing, the blood clotting's the biggest thing, and an irregular heartbeat. My heart could stop for about 8 to 10 seconds, literally now, and start up again. And that's something I have to live with probably for the rest of my life. I'm on tablets now to try and even that out. And during the process of this COVID-19, when it gets a grip of you, it mutilates and it wants to multiply. So it goes round the different parts of your body. So it starts with your lungs, heads for the heart, then it heads for the different organs in your body, the kidneys, and the blood. It congelates the blood, but it turns into jelly, and that's what gives you the blood clots.
So you still have residual issues and will have with this. You know, the debate is going on. You both know this today about, you know, keeping the social distance, washing the hands, you know, the masks. My God, this, you know, people think their liberty has been taken away with the mask. But you are somebody who really wants to send a message out to all our listeners tonight, all our viewers and listeners tonight, of course, to say
there's
this
one
is
thing
serious.
I have to say, one thing, and we're in, I suppose, an area now where we all have to wear masks. And a doctor said to me, he said, there's one thing I want to say to you after you've been through the ordeal. And loads of people asked me about the masks, do we have to wear them? He said, one person came to me and I was given out to them for not wearing a mask. And he said, if you don't like wearing a mask, you're not going to like the ventilator.
That is a stark message.
That's the facts.
Folks, this evening. That is the reality of the
That's
situation.
it. That's it.
It's quite simple as 33 years, here you are today. Did you, honestly, tell me, I know you have great faith. It must be extra special to be here with this wonderful man today.
It's a dream come true, because I definitely didn't think it was going to happen. You know, but really it is.
It just wasn't me time, Jerry.
Yep.
There was a point where I thought, that's it, gone.
Yeah.
But it just wasn't me time. You know, and a few prayers here and there. That's what got me through it. Nobody else, because the main doctor there said, he said a prayer over me. He said, look, I've done all I can do. My team have done all I can do. It's up to you now. And that's it. And that's the reason I'm here. Fair and believer.
Well, listen, it's just fantastic to have you both with us this evening and to hear your story. And here's to the next 30-odd years.
Absolutely.
It wasn't your time, and may it not be for a long, long time to come. I'm delighted for you. I really am, because you're such a popular guy, and everybody, you're right, so many people were just rooting for this fella all over the place. They were. But congratulations on 33 wonderful years, 3 lovely children, and a great marriage, and many happy years to you to come.
Thanks very much, Jerry. Thanks
for joining us this evening at the Drogheda Motor Show. What a story that is, folks. Isn't it just remarkable? It really, really is. Special moment, special time here. 10 years of the Drogheda Motor Show we're celebrating in the Droichead Arts Centre this evening. It's time to hear from a legendary motor dealer. Yes, I've driven many Fords in my time and absolutely love them. Yes, it's the crew on the North Road. It's your main Ford dealer, Smiths of Drogheda.
Hi everyone, Alex here in Smiths of Drogheda. We've been keeping Drogheda moving for over 80 years. We have the full range of Ford passenger and commercial vehicles, including cars like the all-new Ford Puma. We also have the full Ford Transit commercial range, being the main transit centre for the Northeast.
Our motoring tip is maintenance. Regular servicing of a vehicle is not only key to its lifespan, it is crucial to customer safety. As well as servicing vans and commercials, we are also a CRVT test centre. Ensuring your vehicle is serviced at 15,000, 20,000 or annual intervals guarantees it is a Ford and Smiths of Drogheda quality standard.
Smiths of Drogheda, the tradition of putting you first.
Yes, it's the next generation, the boys there. Say hello to them this evening, to Nicky and to Anthony, of course. Anthony Smith, fantastic garage man and still going strong. Smiths of Drogheda on the North Road in Drogheda, main Ford dealers. You'll always receive a warm welcome and a great deal from the boys there. Now, still to come on the show, we have another sporting feature for you. Yes, Drogheda United back in action in the Electricity League next week. We'll be talking to them. Keith Barry weaves his magic in a wee while, and we're going to hear in a moment what it's like to learn to drive in the year 2020. But I'll remind you again that tonight's show comes to you with the backing of the Drogheda Motor Dealers, First Citizen Finance, Drogheda Chamber, yes, Drogheda District Chamber, the Society of the Irish Motor Industry, and Louth County Council. We've seen her through the evening, yes. She's been up there on video, and here she is, live with me on the sofa. Welcome to the show, Dawn Finnegan.
Thank you. Thanks for having me.
Not at all. Well, tell us, you're learning how to drive. When did you start?
I
I suppose I kind of learned when I was maybe 18 or 19, and I never stuck with it because I was working in Drogheda. I could walk to work, I could get public transport. I had my mammy dropping me everywhere. So I didn't stick with it. And I think at the beginning of 2020, I kind of said, okay, it's one of my goals. I have to learn to drive. I have to be able to do this. I have to have my independence. And I'm kind of with my job now. I am all over the place. I'm not in the one spot anymore like I used to be for so many years. So I just do need that little bit of independence. So I started my lessons back in February of this year. A little bit of a halt was put on it because of COVID, obviously, and they have resumed about 2-3 weeks ago, so I'm back at it now.
Who's teaching you?
Alan from Tartan Driving School in Drogheda.
Is he very patient?
The most patient man on the planet. He deserves a medal, he really does.
What's it like to get back behind the wheel again and go out on the roads and pick it up and learn? Do you feel pressure? Are you nervous?
At the beginning, I was very nervous. And Alan did mention that to me a few times. He's like, will you relax? Calm down. I think I'm such a thinker that he's saying, like change gear or slow down or indicate left. And I'm like, okay. And I'll start to maybe panic a little bit. But the more you do it, like it's all about your confidence and it's just about getting yourself used to something. The more you do it, the easier it is. So I think I'm a lot more calm now, definitely. I'm eased myself into it a lot more.
Have you booked the test or when would you like to do the test?
Definitely doing the test this year.
Good.
So it's going to be booked hopefully in the next week.
What's the most difficult part of learning to drive?
For me, it was hill starts.
Right.
And that's the one thing that made me most nervous because I would constantly cut out because I would panic. So as I've been learning over the last few months, and I had a few little instances where I did cut out, and Alan is a great teacher because he'll kind of say, okay, you're nervous on this or you messed up a little bit, so let's do it over and over and over again until you're not nervous and you don't mess up. So that has been a blessing and it's been a massive help. So hill starts are no longer a problem.
Plenty of hills in this
Plenty
town
of hills here.
to test your
I haven't done
sure.
Constitution yet, but I will. I will brave it. I will brave
now
it.
Listen, we see you on the VTs through the evening here, and you're doing a lot of presenting, and you're working to promote local business as well with the wonderful Martin Connolly.
Yes, he's
who's
over
behind
there.
the camera
He's over
here
there.
this evening.
Yeah, we have, myself and Martin have teamed up. We work on a lot of projects together. So it takes us all around. Someone only said to me recently, like, your job seems too good to be true because there's some days, only recently I was in a restaurant and I had to be filmed, eating fish and chips and drinking a pint of Boyne Brewhouse. And people are going,
God
is
help
that really
you.
your job? And
God
I'm like,
help
yeah. Or else, I'm in, Smiths of Drogheda driving a car or something. But that's the job. It's not your typical, I suppose, 9 to 5. But myself and Martin, we work very well together. We have a lot of fun doing it. He's very creative and he gets the shot. And yeah, we work really well together. We have a lot of fun doing it.
It's an aspect of your skill set that you obviously love and are developing.
Massively. It's something I really love. I suppose it's something that I never, up until maybe 3 years ago, it's something I never really thought that I would do. I think the whole thing with presenting and stuff, it never really kind of entered my head until someone said, give that a go. Or I was kind of put on the spot initially and I kind of thought, okay, maybe I can work with that. And it kind of just snowballed. It just evolved into one job after another. So I'm very blessed. I do love it.
You're going great.
Thank you.
Really are.
Thank you very
You're
much.
Fantastic. Now, you're well known as a makeup artist as well and a blogger. Tell me about the blogging. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You've built up, a substantial following. That
Yeah.
takes a lot of work.
It takes a lot of work. And I think initially, it's definitely a lot more work than I anticipated when I first started. My blog, I suppose, was born back in 2015, and I kind of wanted to do it more so to help promote local businesses. I think at the time I was watching, the big influencers out there, and they were promoting everywhere apart from Drogheda, and that made me a little bit sad because I was kind of thinking there's so many amazing businesses and things in Drogheda, and I really wanted them to, get a bit of a shout out. So that's what I suppose inspired me to do it. Never in a million years imagined it would grow into a full-time job. I'm very, very lucky that it has, but I never imagined that it would. But it does become, it's a massive part of my life now, and I would never change it. But it's not a 9 to 5, it's 8 a.m. until, you stop working, basically.
It isn't.
Yeah.
It's 24 hours. It really is. Well, listen, I wish you well with the driving lessons,
you.
and hopefully you'll get that test and pass it with flying
Fingers
colours
crossed.
soon.
Light
We're
a
all
candle.
rooting for you. She's multi-talented. Isn't she just lovely? Dawn Finnegan, thank
Thanks,
you for
Jerry.
joining us
Thank
this
you.
evening. Appreciate it. Yes, again reminding you, this night, we need your donations for our charities. Yes, Loudmead branch of Down Syndrome Ireland and Malta Services. Go to brandnewdrive.ie, click the donate button, give, and you could win a €250 shop local voucher. Now, time to hear from another of our motor dealers. We wouldn't be here tonight. We wouldn't be celebrating 10 years of the motor show in the Droichead Arts Centre in Drogheda tonight without these guys and ladies. Yes, it's time to hear from Volkswagen, Skoda, Western Motors.
Welcome to Western Motors. My name is Robbie Matthews, sales manager here at the garage. We are the main dealers for Volkswagen passenger cars, Volkswagen commercial vehicles and Skoda, including the all-new Skoda Superb IV. And in our new range of Volkswagen vehicles, we've got the all-new Volkswagen Golf Mark 8. What I'm going to talk to you today about is the connected technology in our new Skoda Karoq. Connected cars are part of the Internet of Things. That information could be as simple as points of interest. Where is the nearest petrol stations along the route that we're travelling on? Connected cars can facilitate contact between the car and the dealership or alert emergency services if the car has been involved in an accident.
Yes, Western Motors and the importance and significance of connectivity in our cars. I need a lesson, I have to be honest with you myself. I have so much going on in my Renault Megane and I don't know how to use 20% of it. So if there's anybody out there that cares to give me a lesson in the connectivity, give me a shout at the radio station. I'd love your help. Anyways, that's Western Motors, Volkswagen and Skoda. They'd be delighted to have you pop into them over the coming days, and they will look after you. Now, I've always loved magic from I was a little boy, and I'm a great fan of magicians. And little did I ever think in my life that I'd become friends with one of our greatest mentalists and magicians, but I have with Mr. Keith Barry. To the point that we fish together now, and we're in regular contact. And I'm delighted to tell you that earlier in the week, I caught up with Keith, and I began talking to him about motoring. And then, of course, sure, we're going to have a little magic. Aren't we, Keith? Yes, we are. Yes, we are. Keith Barry, how the hell are you?
I'm very good, thanks. Yes, as you can see, I'm here in my log cabin in my back garden. And, yeah, life is good at the moment. Not too bad.
Well, you know, you're with us this evening, Drogheda Motor Show, celebrating 10 years, and here we are in a whole new world, doing this in a totally different way. Tell me this, your first car, what was it?
Well, I tell you what, you guessed what it was. What do you think my first car was, Jerry?
Ford Capri.
No, it was actually a Citroen ZX, would you believe? A Navy Citroen ZX. I remember it well. I remember trying to do my hill starts on it, and my dad teaching me in that car and cutting out on Bunkers Hill in Waterford every single time. And it was the only time I think I ever remember really arguing with my dad. But it was a Citroen ZX.
My, oh my, I'd never have put Keith Barry in that to start with. But look, we all started. Mine was a Mini, SIY 211. I can even remember the registration today, and it was a little purple thing. My mother called it the Sputnik. She was afraid we'd be killed in it. You know, that type of thing.
Bit fancier than my Citroen.
Anyway, a Citroen to start, and I'm sure you've had many cars through the years. What are you driving today?
I'm now in a Hyundai Santa Fe, and I love it. And I'll tell you why. Because of what we do, Jerry, which is fishing. So I need a big car with a big boot space, and ultimately the Hyundai Santa Fe, I can put all my fishing gear in it. I was in it this morning. I had 3 rods in there. I had 5 bags in the back. It's got a big boot space, very comfy as well. It's got heating in the steering wheel, Jerry. Like so in the middle of winter when you're freezing cold, I've never had a car with heating in the steering wheel. So I love it. So yeah, I'm in a Hyundai Santa Fe at the moment.
So regardless of family or herself or anybody in the house, fishing is the thing that says this car is the ideal car for Keith Barry.
Yeah, see, like I've had a couple of nice cars in the past, like fancy cars, we'll say. Yeah. But they've not been very practical. So for example, I was in a Subaru Legacy, a gold one. So that was a bit flashy now, right? So I was driving around a Subaru Legacy for a couple of years, and ultimately that actually saved my life, because that was the one that I was in a massive car accident in, coming back from a funeral up in Belfast. So I was in a head-on car collision in the Subaru Legacy, and it crumpled like a crisp packet, but I think it was designed to do that. It ultimately saved my life. The airbags went off, so and I looked into it. The safety features are actually really good in that car. But you know, after that accident, I think I just got practical about it because we ended up having kids shortly after that accident, and hence these days I'm driving more practical automobiles rather than the fancy ones, you know.
And we have to say that Hyundai Santa Fe is a fine car, fine family car as well.
Yeah.
If you had the dream car, the one, you know, you talk about fishing, you talk about family, practicality, whatever, what would be your dream automobile that you'd love to have, no expense spared?
Do you know what? The bit of craziness in me, I'd like a Hummer. You know, one of those big Hummers.
Yes.
Yeah. I think didn't Keane Healy have one of those for a couple of years, if I'm not mistaken? He was one of the only people in Ireland with one. But I'd love a Hummer because I just find it's a real chunky, big yoke, as I call it down in Waterford. You know, that's what we say. But I love it. So I think a Hummer would be really interesting. You know, it's like a lot of people would say a Lotus or a Porsche or whatever. But I think for me, I could see myself going around a Hummer up high and just spinning around in that. You know.
When you think about travel, and you travel a lot internationally, restricted of course at the minute, and the technology we're on this evening facilitating a whole new aspect and vista in your career. But you know, within Ireland itself, and you travel around Ireland, you've been in the Northeast many times with your shows. What about motoring yesterday and today, the comparisons when you're out on the roads? Any thoughts on that?
It's interesting. I'm actually very surprised the amount of traffic that is on the roads. Now, I know ultimately when you go into Dublin city centre, you know, there's not the volume of traffic going in there. But last Sunday, I drove somewhere. I can't remember. I had somewhere to go last Sunday. Oh, I know what it was. I was just with the kids, and we hadn't been out in a long time. So I went over and visited my parents. And after that, we just scooted down to Kilcool in Wicklow. And it was a Sunday evening, so it wasn't like everybody would have been on the way to the beach. But on Sunday evening at like 4:30, there was just volumes of traffic. And when I say volumes, I mean the M50 was at a standstill and there's no accidents or anything. So it's very interesting what way the traffic will go with this whole thing, because you would think that there's going to be less, but I don't know. I think a lot of people will be forced to drive because of, you know, the public transport issues that are arising now. And, you know, I think, you know, it could actually be a problem down the line that, you know, we might end up having a lot more traffic on the roads. And I don't know how car sales are. I actually have no idea. But I think as time goes on, I think certain people will probably actually be forced to buy cars, whereas before they might have used public transport, you know.
Boys and girls in the industry in the Northeast here around Drogheda are delighted to hear those words. That's what they want to hear. But on a serious note, we do know, and you know, Keith, as well, the importance of our local car dealerships, the employment they give to people. And at this time, jobs, you know, we need people back working, and as many as possible.
Well, I think there's an issue there. And I spoke with somebody yesterday, a friend of mine, Paul Sheeran. He's a very well-known jeweller in Dublin city centre. And I was in Dublin for work yesterday. And luckily, you know, all my work is virtual, but I had to go into a studio yesterday. And I noticed obviously how quiet Dublin was. And I spoke with him about it. And he said, yeah, he actually thinks a lot of people are nervous to go back to work, which is natural because of the environment that we're in. But you're absolutely right. You know, I think when the time is right and when it's safe to do so, people should go back to work.
We'll finish, will we? No, we can't finish with Keith Barry on this 10th anniversary of the Drogheda Motor Show without a little bit of magic. So normally, like you and I are face-to-face in studio and you work your magic with me, but here we are on a Zoom call this evening. What are you going to do?
So, I've prepared a little envelope here, and this is the first time we've ever done anything virtually, but I have a little envelope. You can see it's sealed there, Jerry. And look, if you were here, I'd hand this to you, obviously, and you'd examine it, but you can see there's no way in, no way out. And normally you would hold on to this, but I'll keep it in full view so you know that nothing can get in, nothing can get out. So, here's the idea, Jerry. I'm going to try and influence you to say something. Your job is to stop me, okay? So I'm going to give you a word, and when I give you this word, I want you to name any word that has no association with the word that I give you. So the idea is that, for example, if I said apple to you a moment ago, your mind automatically goes to orange, right? So I don't want you to do that, though. When I say a word to you, think the most random word you can that has nothing to do with the word that I give you. Okay? So the word I'm going to give to you is Motor.
Cow.
Cow. Like as in a moo cow. Just
Yes.
for clearness. Now, do you think, now I want you to be absolutely honest, do you think there's any possible way I could have influenced you to say cow by me saying motor? Do you think that's possible at all?
No, I did what you said to me. You said to me, think of something that's absolutely no association with the word I have said. And I think cow's a fair one, isn't it? When you mention motor, it's a little bit...
So you would think there's no way I could have influenced you, right?
No.
Look, my hands are empty. I want you to know that. Look, there's nothing in my hands, okay? Look, inside here, okay, if I get this open, I want you to see this. Can you see that, Jerry? Inside there, there's a piece of paper. Can you see that?
Yeah, yeah.
Okay, I'm going to take it out, fingertip stuff. Normally you would take this out, of course, but I have to do it for you here. Let's get the piece of paper all the way out. There we go. And if I open this up, Jerry, I want you to read out loud exactly what it says for everybody watching and, of course, listening.
I will influence Jerry to say cow. All I can say is, holy cow, Keith Barry. How do you do it?
Very well, but thanks for asking.
Well, that's magic. It really is. And you know me, I just love you and what you do. And I'm a real enthusiast
Thanks very
for
much.
magic all my life. And God Almighty, how do you do this stuff? You're an incredible
Here's another quick thing, Jerry.
All right, go on. We've time for another one. Go ahead.
One quick thing. Oh, and just to let people know, during COVID, during the lockdown, I actually wrote an ebook for the power of the subconscious mind. If people want to get that ebook, it's a free ebook, and it is about how to program your subconscious mind to optimize peak performance. Just go onto my website, keithbarry.com/ebook, and you can get the ebook for free. But for now, Jerry, I've got a deck of cards. It's got a big black X on it. Now, that X is going to become important in a moment's time, okay? And it's very important because we're doing this virtually. And I'll tell you why. Because a couple of hours ago, I reversed one card in the deck. It's going the wrong way. It's upside down. I'm going to get that inside your head. 3 seconds, 2, 1. Name any card you want out loud. Go ahead.
Can I say it out loud?
Yeah.
Jack of Hearts.
The Jack of Hearts. Isn't that interesting now? Because look, I told you this X would become important, and it is important. There's nothing else inside the box. Because I destroyed the deck of cards just for you and just for the motor show. Now look, if I go through this deck slowly, Jerry, you can see I really did destroy each and every card. There's an X going through all of the cards. Can you see that, Jerry? Yes?
Yes, yes.
There's one card that I saved. It's going the wrong way. I only saved one card, Jerry, and it is the Jack of Hearts.
Why are you my favorite late lunch guest of all time?
Well, thanks very much. You know me, I love going on your show as well, so the feeling is mutual, as they say.
Well, Keith Barry, that is magic. It really is.
Thanks so much,
good man yourself. Thanks a million, Keith Barry. Appreciate it.
Thanks.
That is magic. I'm here enjoying that as much as I did when we did it during the week. And a big thank you again to Keith Barry for supporting the Drogheda Motor Show 10-year celebrations. He really is a great fellow. Now, it's time for our final music of the evening, and this is really special, I'm sure, to many people watching tonight because it brings back fond memories. I'm sure many of you have been to Drogheda, especially for Fleadh Ceol which was staged here so successfully in 2018 and again in 2019. And if you were in town, you may have gone to Lawrence Gate. We were talking about it earlier this evening to Lelia Doolin from the Design Gallery. She's right beside it there. But the gate was closed. It was a great move and pedestrianised a couple of years ago. And the music there every day during the Fleadh, and it's continued since and will continue in the future, is absolutely marvellous. And one of the driving forces behind music at the gate is Dara O'Haley. And earlier today, Dara arrived here to bring back memories of those wonderful years. And here he's accompanied by Oisin McCann with a little number he wrote himself.
Thank you.
Ah yes, memories, memories. Fla Ceol 2018 and 19 in Drogheda. Darragh Haley on the uilleann pipes, accompanied by the wonderful Oisín McCann on guitar. And there is a third aspect to our musical entertainment on the stage with us. We'll get to that in a moment. Darragh, tell us about the piece you've just played.
So the piece, it seems like every time I get a new dog, and this fella is new, each time I get a new dog, I end up writing a new piece of music. I don't know, it's something about that time in life that you kind of go, you get ideas that wouldn't ordinarily come to you. So that's how the first piece of music, the first tune, the slow piece there was written.
And the new dog, you had Nama for how long?
I had him for 8 years.
And this fella's name is?
This fella's name, I'm not allowed to tell you that at the moment. Let's just call him the Chief for the moment.
Okay, to be named very, very shortly.
Yes.
The Fla, when we think back to those wonderful, wonderful summers, yourself instrumental in putting on music at the gate as well. They were wonderful times.
Amazing times. And, you know, we will have it back here. This is a temporary hiccup, and I know it's bad for a lot of people, but we will get through it.
For yourself, lockdown, what's been happening? What have you been up to?
So I work in IT in the third level sector, so time for me has been very, very busy. But it's been good, it's been really positive. Getting to bring innovative solutions to students so they can continue studying has been probably one of the highlights. So for me, it's been good, I must say, which is unusual.
The pipes, of course, what an instrument it is. What a beautiful instrument it is to play. When did you take them up? At what age?
About 6 or 7. And I heard a fella called Mick O'Brien playing, and I instantly liked them. I just thought they were the most amazing instrument ever.
And you certainly have come to master them. If you weren't up bucklepping round and dancing to what we've just heard, I don't know what's up with you, but it is wonderful, and it's just something that's innate in us Irish people. We just love that rhythm and sound.
Yeah, absolutely. And just, you know, thank you for the opportunity again to the Motor Show here for asking me to come back here. It's been amazing.
It's been our pleasure to have you back with us. You've been simply wonderful. Oisín McCann and Darragh Haley, and to be named in the future, the Chief. Thank you all very much indeed.
Thank you.
Oh, wasn't the dog simply majestic? Oh, what a lovely creature, and so well trained. Yes, another dog from the guide dogs down in Cork. They produce wonderful animals for people that make such a difference in their lives. But Darragh Haley there, yes, instrumental to Music at the Gate and bringing back memories of Fla 2018 and 19 in Drogheda. Now, just to mention somebody else or a business who've been so supportive of the Drogheda Motor Show. The support began last year when it took place in Lawrence Street, and they've given great backing to this 10th anniversary celebration here in the Droichead Arts Centre tonight. LH Kelleher, Insurance and Financial Planning, and we'd like to acknowledge and thank Colin Kelleher, Conal Flynn and Gillian Lind. Thank you indeed for your wonderful and ongoing support. It is much appreciated. Now we're back to sport, and we're nearing the end of our evening this evening, and I think it's appropriate we talk to a sporting organisation that carries the banner and the name of Drogheda up and down the country year in, year out, and has brought great success to the town in the past. League champions, FAI Cup winners, European football, Setanta Cup, multiple winners as well, and a League Cup, of course, more recently. And I'm joined on the sofa by a member of the Drogheda United Board of Management, the new team guiding the club, John Matthews. Thanks for joining us this evening.
Great to be here, Jerry. Pleasure.
Is it tomorrow week it all kicks off again for Drogheda?
It is, yeah. It's been a pretty surreal last couple of months. We were only getting going really, and got into a good rhythm. You know, the good win in Cove. Came back a little blip against Longford, but then we went out and we had a good win over UCD, you know, and everything was going good. We were feeling good about ourselves, and then COVID hits, and you have to kind of just dial back a little bit and take stock. And yeah, it's been an interesting couple of weeks now with the friendlies. Getting used to. Des was on earlier speaking about golf without fans. I managed to get up to the game this afternoon against Shells. And it was funny, Liam Ray and Larry McQuillan, who you know well, we were just having that exact conversation. Like, who'd be thinking, like 6 months ago, that we'd be in a stadium without fans, you know? So yeah, and it really is a head scratcher.
Anyway, it's not affecting the team on the
It's
field
not.
because they're doing well since the resumption, even though they are friendly games against the big boys from the Premier League. There's a lovely blend in this squad that Tim has assembled here, and your conveyor belt of young players is really starting to pay dividends.
It's big time, Jerry. I think, like, if you look at the squad, like you say yourself, it's full of youth, it's full of talent, it's full of goals, young, hungry players, really. And I think if I look back at my association with Drogheda, it goes back 25 years. For me, this is the most excited I've been about a squad, I think, in those 25 years.
Really?
And at a squad level. Like, we had the glory days back in the 2000s with Paul and that, but I think from a squad level, this is really good to see the likes of Mark Doyle and Conor Kane come up through the club. And then with the One Academy and all the work Morgan and Wayne have done with the under-19s and the under-13s and 15s, it really bodes well for Drogheda United into the future.
You're 18 months now, roughly, in the hot seat, under the guidance, of course, of your wonderful chairman, Conor Hoy, and a new board of directors, a young, vibrant board, just like yourself as well. Would it be fair to say a lot done, a lot more to do?
Definitely, yes, I think so. We have big ambitions for the club. We want to get the club back to the Premier Division. We feel that's where we belong, and we're working hard to that end. Like, your own son Jared's deeply involved with the club as well. So it's all systems go really for that. We believe that we have the right team in place on the pitch with the right management with Tim and Kevin, and we feel that we're going places. We've a real passion there. We've a team of about 50 volunteers now behind the club, and really it is like just one big community, one big family, and our goal is to drive Drogheda towards the Premier Division and get us back where we belong.
Community is the word I keep hearing from Conor Hoy an awful lot, and you put your money where your mouth was last year. Fantastic support for the Gary Kelly Centre, your chosen charity, and of course re-establishing links into the business community for support, and also football-wise, Drogheda Boys, your academy, you're back in tune with them again, and it's great news.
Yeah, no, we're delighted. It's a lot of work has gone in behind the scenes with Conor and Morgan and the team, and it's great to get that link back with Drogheda Boys, with the School Children's League, and I think just to give young players a stepping stone now, and not just young players but coaches as well. So if you have an interest, a passion in coaching or playing, there's multiple ways now of going through the system, and we just look to provide that platform for young talented players. You see it with the Brennan brothers, the talent is there, and it's just a matter of time before we get that into the team, and then we use that to kick ourselves on up the divisions and up the league.
Your new website is fantastic. Congratulations, and I know you're the man behind that. It's a wonderful, wonderful job, and another new initiative on the horizon, and maybe we'll just finish up with this. You're intending relaunching your members club.
Yes, we have. I think you said there the buzzword was community that Conor uses, and that's forefront to our mind in everything that we do. But the other one is members. We want Drogheda to be a fan-owned football club, and that's key for us. So yeah, in the next couple of weeks we're looking to launch the Drogheda Advanced Club, and so yeah, you'll see a lot of that in the local press now in the coming weeks.
I wish you well. It's not an easy task.
Thank you,
I've been that soldier in the past, and it's passed on the generations in my family now.
Indeed.
I wish you all well. You've done fantastically well, and let's hope this is Drogheda United's year to go back to the Premier Division. It resumes, of course, next week, and you're working on live streaming. We just want to give that update. Watch this space about the live streaming for your games in the First Division. John Matthews, thank you so much indeed. Now, our final motor dealer. Yes, we're going to hear from them now. Last but not least, yes, they're fantastic people. They've come into the Drogheda area quite recently, and they're part of the family as if they were always there. Let's hear from Windsor Drogheda Peugeot.
Hi folks, welcome to Windsor Drogheda Peugeot. My name is Derek Roach. I'm the sales manager here in Windsor Drogheda. In our showroom we have the full range of all new Peugeot models, ranging from the 208 electrical to 20 standard petrol, the 3008, 508 and 508. Also new to the range we have the hybrid in the 3008 and 508. The benefits of our hybrid 4 engine in our Peugeot range are: you will save on fuel consumption, there's zero emissions in electric mode, there's a 13.2 kilowatt battery range of 60 kilometers. Charging time is only 1 hour 45 minutes. you will have smooth driving and sharp acceleration. We are here 6 days a week. We're open Monday to Friday 8:30 to 6 p.m. and Saturday 10 to 3 p.m.
Windsor, Peugeot, Drogheda, give them a shout. Like all our dealers, 11 of them backing this wonderful show tonight. It's 10 years, yes, the 10th anniversary of the Drogheda Motor Show, and we're coming fast to the end of the evening here at the Droichead Art Centre. But before we do, I just want to remind you for a last time, and thank you to everybody who've donated tonight. Malta Services and the Loudmead branch of Down Syndrome Ireland are beneficiaries, and you can still donate, and you'll be able to donate until 9 o'clock tomorrow evening. So 9 tomorrow, brandnewdrive.ie. Click on the donate button there and give what you can. Every euro counts. And you could be very happy on Monday morning because we'll announce it on the Brand New Drive Facebook page who's won the €250 shop local voucher. So there you are. You could give a little and win a lot. So get cracking. Please do. I know you're great. You're great, really. Now, let's go back at the end of the night to the very beginning, because this is really an important message to get out there. All of our dealers have the full COVID-19 safety protocols in place. Yes, they're all in place in all the garages right round Drogheda. And just to remind us of what they've done, let's take one more look at this little safety message. Yes, that safety message coming to you again from the Drogheda motor dealers. And yes, it is safe to go into your local dealer and have a chat with them about that used or new car. And they're just dying to have a chat with you. And there's some great deals to be had and a fine range of cars right across all the marques and the showrooms. Well, we've come to the end of our evening here in the Droichead Art Centre, and what an evening it's been. I hope you've enjoyed the show. We'd plenty of chat, hadn't we, with a range of interesting guests. We've kept the motoring theme going right through the evening as well, and I think it's a real appropriate celebration of 10 years of the Drogheda Motor Show, and congratulations to all for putting this show on tonight, because as I said to Robert Murray at the beginning, it would have been quite easy to say, well, let's leave it to 2021. But these people are built of sterner stuff, and there's great, great hope for the future when you have people backing a show and a celebration like this. I want to say a big thank you to the Drogheda Motor dealers. They have the motor you want, I'll say it again. To First Citizen Finance, they've been brilliant. One of the main sponsors here this evening. The Society of the Irish Motor Industry, the Drogheda and District Chamber, wonderful, wonderful people, and Louth County Council. I want to mention our producer tonight, Karen Devine. She's just simply the best. She guides me all the way, and she's just a pleasure to work with, and she's done a marvellous job again here this evening. To all the guys behind the cameras and out in the van outside, the technical crew from Maguire Media, thank you so much for helping me this evening, because I was breaking new ground here. This is a very first for me, and Mr. Martin Connolly. He's here looking at me from behind the camera as well. Thank you so much, Martin, for all your help especially. I want to mention the crew in the Droichead Art Centre, up at the top there, up in the box, up at the back, the people in the centre here who've helped us right through the day. You've been magnificent. Thank you so much for all your support and help. And to everyone who supported the Drogheda Motor Show for the last decade, thank you from the dealers and everybody involved. To all our guests who sat on the sofa with me this evening, weren't they just wonderful? Thank you to them all. And you, our audience, for tuning in this evening. And I really am looking forward to the next 10 years on behalf of all the dealers and everybody who's involved in this wonderful, wonderful business. Happy birthday, Drogheda Motor Show. Congratulations on 10 wonderful years. Good night from myself, Jerry Kelly. It's been a real pleasure. Thank you.